Hello and welcome to another PedalBox live stream. We've been working all day on the cars and it's finally started to go a little bit dark. We've given up and we've decided to come in and we're doing the stream as promised, and we're going to be doing more, well, I say we, Chris is going to be doing yet more stress card.
Yes, today I'm going to be building the most exciting part of the car yet. I'm going to be building a light switch holder.
It's definitely not the most thrilling.
No.
Evening, Ronald, and Jason is in as well. This is awesome. Hopefully we'll get some more people in because we have some cool stuff to do.
We were only a minute late going live today.
I know, it's
this
wild,
might be a
isn't it?
new record.
Yeah, I mean, we did throw, what, 2 other people at the production side of this.
Yeah, there's like 4 Pearson hours of of effort gone into making sure that everything was ready, and we still missed by a minute.
Yeah, that's just how good we are. Ish.
No, it is how good we are.
So yes, hopefully you've all had a nice Saturday today. We had a small amount of rain right when we didn't need it to happen. We were literally at the end of the day, we were finishing off some bodywork stuff on the car.
Yeah, we just put some fresh primer down on a few new patches that we've smoothed, and genuinely, if not for that, we probably could have got actual paint on, like black paint, and started closing it up properly.
We're planning on getting all the primer and the body filler that we've got on the car actually sealed. So it's going to be black paint and clear coat. Nothing particularly exciting, but we were this close to getting it, well, started. I was going to say done. Yeah. Done is the wrong word.
Yeah.
We're this close to getting it started. And we didn't, because literally, I was doing a piece to camera about the light switch and the brake bias holder.
Yeah, you
getting that panel in, realised, oh no, I've done it wrong. I've ruined the entire panel, which admittedly is only this big, and we had to start again. And as I went in to cut it, I noticed spots of rain, and we had to start over, which just...
It does knock the wind out your sails a little bit, doesn't it?
So the upside was we managed to cover everything up, get it in, and I managed to make a new panel, and that was the only achievement that happened after the rain, which
now granted,
really wasn't that useful.
That's not to say today was bad. Today was pretty good, I think. I didn't expect to get... Am I allowed to tell them what we did today?
What, the...
Just like in general.
Oh, yeah.
So, cool. So we've been trying to put the handbrake in, at last.
We've been trying to put the handbrake in for how many months?
We've been trying to find the handbrake for a lot of months. We've now found it.
Fair point.
We've now started trying to put it in.
So we obviously we dismantled our A3 long time ago. We dismantled an Audi TT quite a long time ago. And I thought, we're going to need a handbrake. And I saved the handbrake from both of those cars. Don't know where I've put them. I definitely have them. I'm pretty certain I haven't thrown them away. If I have thrown them away, they're long gone, because we've gone through every shed, every box. The trailer that we have currently operating as a skip with all the odds and ends and bits and pieces of plastic in, and there is no sign of that handbrake anywhere.
The part that surprises me is after we bought a new one, neither of the old ones appeared.
Yeah.
Like, that is absolutely what I expected. We've been looking for it for months. I figured the day we order one, or maybe the day it arrives, we'll find one of the old ones. Yeah. That hasn't happened.
No. But then we haven't really looked that hard.
Not since, no, granted.
No, I suspect when we eventually leave that garage, I'm going to find so many things that we now have duplicates of that we don't need the other one. It's all going to get relisted on eBay yet again. But never mind. So yes, that's been today's fun and entertaining shuffle around of parts on the car, because the hydraulic handbrake is no good. Well, no, the hydraulic handbrake is fine, but it probably won't get us through the IVA.
Yeah, it's technically fine, apart from the fact that it's illegal.
It's not illegal.
Not sufficient.
That
might be a... You're allowed to have it, but
yes.
you need a handbrake that actually has a mechanical lock that is guaranteed to hold on, whereas a hydraulic system, which obviously ours would be, being a hydro handbrake, could probably leak back over time.
So the seats that Chris is actually sitting on are the rear seats from the Audi TT that we pulled apart, that I turned into a bench seat in here and built a little frame up. And what you can't see, that we might be able to try and show later, is the frame is actually 2 alloy wheels from a Fiesta, that were originally used as dumbbells by our metal supplier. One of the guys that works at Berkshire Metals was getting rid of them, and I went, can I have them? I was like, sure. So we got these 2 fairly well knackered alloy wheels that already have hub flanges bolted onto them. and they fit a 2-inch box section perfectly, just sliding over the top, and they just fit. It was absolutely incredible. So yeah, that was quite interesting. That worked so nicely. And actually, just off to one side of the camera is the driver's seat. Yes, driver's seat on an office chair pedestal.
A very reinforced office chair pedestal, because it's a heavy, heavy seat.
The small danger part of that, which currently being occupied by Loki, and he is not at any risk of tipping over, is it still has the runners on, so it slides backwards and forwards, so you can easily slide forward and just tip off over the front, or slide backwards and fall off the back of the pedestal. But otherwise, it all works absolutely perfectly. And this is a nice Recaro with some adjustable side bolsters. It pulls you in really nicely, that we got out of a second-hand shop for 20 quid.
Were we on the way? Yeah, I think we were on the way back from the Metal Merchant.
Yes.
Just driving along, and I'm like, is that a Recaro?
That's a Recaro on the side, on the road. It was literally just sat outside.
Just out on the pavement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they wanted 40 quid for it.
Something like that.
And we bargained them down.
It was a bit of a bargain.
Yeah, we bargained them down to 20 quid. Oh, excuse me. So we have this really nice Recaro. In fact, I'm going to get up because I need to go and grab something.
The Recaro is probably nicer than the TT bench seat.
Yes.
The TT is not renowned for having an amazingly comfortable rear seat. I'm going to be honest. Sorry, real quick. I've been here for just under a week now, and I've been mostly, like, when we're not outside working on the car, I've been trying to do my day job at this desk, on this computer, on this chair, on this sofa. It's not amazing. I don't think I'd recommend this. I'd recommend that with the Recaro.
Yes, the Recaro
not so much this.
is super comfy. The front seats in the TT are super comfy. Of course, with the rear seats, we have made them infinitely comfier than they would be in the car.
What, by not having a roof?
By not having a roof.
Yeah.
That when you open the boot lid on the TT, it actually has a warning sticker that if you close the boot down, there is a significant chance you might knock somebody out or pop the rear window and shatter it. Because if I sit up in the rear seat of a Mark 1 TT like this, my head sticks above the rear pillars. And if you close it down with me like that, probably either knock me out, break my neck, or shatter the window.
I suspect it'd be your neck that goes.
I suspect it would also be my neck that would go.
I'll be honest,
as well.
I don't really fancy testing that hypothesis, but it is my guess.
That would be pretty poor.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go and grab something while you explain what we're going to do with CAD.
No, because first I've got another Audi TT anecdote relating to the tiny back seat. But by all means, go grab your stuff.
There.
So a little while ago, this same Audi TT. At the time was owned by our friend Sean, who donated us the car, the engine, and everything. And we went a whole bunch of us went over to the Nürburgring. Now, at the time, I didn't have a running car. I had a Rover SD1, which obviously still have, but obviously being a Rover SD1, it wasn't roadworthy at the time. I can't remember exactly what was the problem. I think for that trip, it didn't have brakes, if I remember right. The brakes would occasionally just completely shit the bed on us. Oh, demonetized. So I didn't bring that. I ended up going over with some of the rest of the guys. And once we were over there, we're all doing laps in each other's cars. And we thought, mostly for the fun of it, we'd see if we can send 3 people around in the TT. Now, I'm not an amazingly tall person. It's difficult to tell on video, but I'm like, I don't know, 5'9", something like that, I think. And in the Audi, I was like in the back of it. I was with my knees up by my ears and my head hunched down like this just to fit in the thing. So I had the roof like just over my head. I was crammed in something horrible. And we piled around the Nürburgring as fast as Sean could pedal that thing. And I tell you, leaping out of the carousel, for anyone who doesn't know the Nürburgring, they've got a couple of corners there where the track is kind of on 2 levels and there's a banked section in between them. And what you want to do, ideally, is stay on the banked section, but it's made of basically slabs. Quite an unstable thing to drive. And we're going around the carousel, out the top of the banked section onto the top surface. And there are few things more terrifying than being in the back of an Audi TT taking flight on a racetrack, well, a toll road, and seeing a barrier right in front of you as you get spat out this thing. And of course, I had no seatbelt on. There was no way that I could like get it around myself. I was held in quite well by my knees being here and my head being against the roof. But nonetheless, it was not amazing fun. Now I'm hearing talk from off camera, so we're going to do something special.
Good.
Have we done
with the
something
magic
special?
of technology,
Excellent.
we can come outside. We might have been buying some new equipment, or rather Jess, who is currently doing our vision mixing, has been buying some new equipment, and that means we have a roaming cam, so I can actually show you exactly what we've been doing on the car, which is extremely cool. Unfortunately, it's still a little bit too early in the year to have a decent amount of light, so I can only really show you this end, where the light above the garage is, but if you come around this side, you can see some of the work that we've been doing on the back end of the car to fix up all of this bodywork. So this is now actually looking reasonably good. And it's actually looking quite smooth. So this is the whole area that we've been hoping to try and get paint on today. Basically from this panel all the way along, right the way over the back, over the roll hoop where the intake is, all the way around, other side. So if we can get this kind of half of the car nicely done with just some black paint and some lacquer on, it would be extremely helpful. So as we haven't got much light, we'll do this again at some point in the future when it's a little bit lighter outside and we'll be able to see more of this, or even do some of it from our workbench out here. But right now I'm going to hand you back over to Chris and we'll continue with the studio broadcast from inside. System worked.
And I think that's it from our field correspondent, Adrian Gordon. Adrian, thank you very much. We're now back in the studio where I'm going to talk some absolute bollocks for a second because I really don't have any idea what I'm going to say next. Oh, cool, we've got Aid back to, like, carry me. Awesome. You were replaced with a cat for a little while there.
Oh, neat. I mean, so, it sometimes happens.
Oh, the microphone's really bad, by the way.
Oh,
rustling, like, sort of, like, paper rustling sort of noises off of it.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Couldn't tell if it was, like, movement related or what. I couldn't see it clear.
Weird. Oh.
But yeah, in any case, I haven't told anyone what I'm doing, apart from the brief mention at the start
okay.
of I'm building a light switch holder, which
yes.
is riveting stuff, I'm sure.
Let me... There we go.
Oh, have we got a nice close-in camera that I can...
So we have top-down cam.
Excellent.
Which I can actually cut to on here, because basically what Jess has done today is come and thrown a huge amount more tech at this setup, and it's wonderful. It's so much better. It's not really surprising, because more things make more better, right?
The outside camera was a particularly nice gimmick. I'm looking forward to finding a way to actually use that.
Yeah, that
because at the minute
be quite cool.
Yeah.
We can probably use, given it is a completely wireless camera, I can actually show you the wheels on the floor down there. I'll just get rid of all of the rubbish from underneath here.
Oh, hey, it's all my electronics projects.
Just do this. Put it on that one for a second. So yeah, underneath here, these are wheels from a Fiesta. I couldn't tell you what generation of Fiesta they're from, but basically it has 4 bolts running through where the wheel nuts would be, going into a 2-inch box frame, and then some actually I think this is 20 by 40 box that fits around the underside and up the back. And yeah, it works pretty well.
It does hold quite nicely. I will say, if I ever go near the edge of it, I feel it sort of drop down.
I mean,
over the edge of the frame.
That is the other problem. If you want us to just stand up for a second.
Oh yeah, can do.
This this is not mounted in any way, shape, or form. The back is mounted.
Yeah, the back's like bolted on properly.
So it does tip down properly.
But yeah, the front section just.
And that's the frame itself.
I love it.
So yeah, right, we'll put that back on, and then you can.
I have a seat again.
Sit back
Magic.
down. So yes, that is at least some of what we've been doing. We've been doing some stuff in here, or rather, Jess and Emily have been doing stuff in here whilst we've been working outside. Let's see what's. Wow. Yes. Okay. So the mic is in fact a little bit bad, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's listenable. You came through okay. It's more just like it needs replacing.
Okay.
We need to cut to social media manager.
Sorry?
Social media manager.
Yes, our social media manager is currently... Oh, he's got his back to the camera. That's kind of disappointing.
Cat cam.
Cat cam is a success. So I've just seen John. So Mad Scientist Garage, who is currently on my T-shirt, is just joined in the chat. He's saying this Stu's a whole tricked out situation, but he's got 6 working outlets between 2 garages.
To be fair, we have, is it 1 outlet in our garage that we've...
At one point, we had 1 13-amp wall socket that we ran the entire garage off with extension leads looped across the roof and everything.
Oh, like fully installed into the roof, like we tacked them all in and everything. It's very, very proper for being a horribly bodged together nightmare.
And then we fixed it properly, and it actually has a ring main in now.
When did we do?
You weren't here at the time.
Oh, is that actually being done now?
So we have 6 proper sockets all in on a ring, which is good because that single socket that actually has an outdoor breaker on it, so that if it gets wet, or if you cut through the cable or whatever, it will insta-trip, which was great because the welder would almost always trip it once a day. And once it had tripped once, you can guarantee it was going to trip again. That socket is now dead. Don't know why, but the reset will not reset.
I remember
at all.
Yeah, I tried using it a little while ago, and
it
isn't that good.
That is less than ideal. But yes, so that's some cool new toys that we have kicking around, so we can try and do yet more interesting things on the streams. And I'd like to try, my ultimate goal for this year is to try and do a proper outside broadcast somewhere.
Yeah.
Streaming sort of through laptop or whatever and get it all working to some degree or other.
I'd like to do a... Like at the same sort of time as we're maybe filming an episode, or maybe we don't. I'm not sure if they go together very well. But like actually streaming a day of us out working on the car, and just have folks able to just like drop in, like not with any sort of expectation of like we're live and we end at certain times or anything.
We probably could, in the summer when we can get a little bit more light on the, because at the moment, as the sun comes round, you have blazing sunshine first thing in the morning, and then shadow, and then blazing sunshine on half the car, and then eventually you get some sun as it comes around the rest of the house, and it's really, really annoying.
You don't really notice it when you're watching the episodes, but it's basically what drives our camera placement. Is what time of day is it determines where we can put the camera. And
indeed what work we can do because of what we can film.
Yeah.
Because some days, you have something where you're looking at it and it just looks terrible because it's massively blown out. So yes, that's less than ideal. But we work with what we do. I was speaking to one of my friends in film, and they're like, could you not just put like a nice big flag up, like a blackout flag that'll just hide it? I'm like, I've tried before, and I did have a big cardboard box on top of the Golf at one point to try and shield it, and it worked perfectly for a day.
It gets too windy too often for it to really hold well.
It worked perfectly for a day, and then the next day it was windy, and it just went.
It's a kite now.
Yes, pretty much. So, yeah, that's less than ideal. It's nice in the winter when it's all a kind of constant level of shadow, but yeah, it's not. It's cold.
Working in winter is not fun. I don't like it.
Really, really.
Like we don't even have like proper nasty winters, but they're nasty enough. Like being underneath the car on the, on the pavement out there is horrible. Doing anything with metal out in the cold is horrible.
Ends up being cold. Yeah, John's just saying, can you put up a carport?
Wow, second time in 2 streams.
Yes, so we have looked at doing that, and unfortunately, we have to. A temporary one would kind of work, but we'd end up having to take the canvas off because of where it is. It gets a really interesting kind of vortex right in front of the garage. We've gone out there and there's this perfect spiral of leaves where it just whips around and curls through. So it catches the wind from all sorts of weird angles, and I suspect it would just lift off and go away. The other problem that we've had, or that we would have, is actually anchoring it down, because we'd have to drill down into the concrete, and if we drill holes in the concrete, water gets in, it freezes, then it cracks the concrete.
Yeah, three corners are fine. We've got 2 walls. We've got the side wall of the house and the garage wall at the back that support 3 of the corners perfectly fine, but the 4th corner, and the other one is access, the 4th corner gets in the way of access to the sort of rearmost parking around the house.
That's if we put not a veranda,
like
an awning up.
Yeah,
but a carport, we'd have to anchor down somehow to the floor, and that's the problem. so much the problem with getting weights and
Also,
sandbags.
it's a rental.
And it's a rental, so we can't really do too much stuff. And drilling into the concrete where water would pool and then fracture would probably be seen as...
Might bug our landlord a bit.
Yeah.
Well, I say our landlord is, not mine anymore, but might bug your landlord.
It would probably be seen as detrimental overall to the house.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't really argue that. And I have had sort of vaguely provisional permission to put a kind of not a lean-to. What's the word I'm looking for? An awning. So yeah, an awning kind of over the top, but actually supporting that fourth corner. As if this is where the garage is, we can get lintel across here, lintel there, supporting it. But this corner, if we put a post in, we would end up blocking in whatever car we have to the left of the garage, and you'd have to go off onto the gravel around, and we either have to put probably 2 tons of gravel in to bring the level up so that it would be smooth just going across, or we have to bump the car down and bump it back up. And we've done that before, and that is
not
terrible.
fun. Don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah, concrete screws would also work as well, but we still have to drill the hole, and then that's what fills with water, and it freezes and it cracks.
I just don't want the landlord to have an excuse, to be honest.
The driveway is so full of cracks where water gets in and fractures and moves. There's
Well, there goes that.
How did that happen?
Please hold, caller. Whilst we just... No, that was down the front.
Oh, was it?
That supports the front.
Ah, okay.
And then...
Oh, it didn't, apparently.
Apparently it didn't. I think I know why, though. I did move it a little bit earlier, and it should sit like
Where was this? Was that on top?
That was on top as a shelf, and then that goes up on...
Is that Sam's old tyre?
That is Sam's old tyre, yes. Then we'll put broadcast duck back up, and the number plates, which... That's... There we go.
Which one's S40? Oh, is that Rowdy?
No, that's the A3.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, that was the A3 that we tore apart.
Yeah, speaking of poor structural integrity.
Yeah. Yes. Ta-da!
Quick sidebar. Do I have to cover the label on this when I'm drinking it?
I mean, from the point of view of branding, no.
Cool. I'll just make sure it's like that way around, and it's probably fine.
There's nothing wrong with a wobble pop. Oh, yeah, Loki is actually just still sat on the chair. Doesn't
Man is
care.
chilling.
Not a single care in the world. Good lad. Right, so now we're going to get on to some CAD. So Chris has free CAD, which I presume
I'm a peasant.
is up on there. I'm really enjoying having this. This makes life so much easier.
What, you not having to yell instructions to the camera?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll come back to that, actually, once we've got this sorted. Or once we've...
Should we actually...
Once I've set
do you want
away.
to walk through this a little bit while I start getting like some of the very, very beginnings of the sketches together?
So this is our light switch. I've actually forgotten which one this came out of.
It has very A3 vibes to it, I think. I feel like there'd be some more like vajazzling if it was off a TT.
I've just found the part number. I can
Also,
check.
does it really matter? It's off one of the donor cars.
Not really. Just for
You just wanna know.
curiosity. Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
941. If you'd like to look this up at home as well, it's 4F2 941 531D. And that is... Oh, it is actually from my A6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I was at least right in it not being from the TT.
Yes,
but
pretty much. The TT one, actually, I know why it's not from the TT. Because the TT and the A3 isn't a perfect circular panel. It's a bigger, squarer unit, which also has the dimming controls for the lights, which we aren't.
Yeah, I remember now. I think we actually had one a while ago that we took apart and then realised that it wasn't going to work or it'd be too difficult to integrate or something.
Yeah, it basically, because it has a panel around it, we'd have to cut something that matched the shape. And the dashboard in the TT for that kind of rolls inwards to it, so it's recessed into it, which works perfectly fine when you're an OEM and you can do that kind of thing. And
when you've got like extensive CAD capabilities that we do not have.
We kind of settled on the fact that this was circular, and therefore we need to cut a round hole, which I really hope we're capable of.
I don't think we are, to be honest, but... I'll try and buy you some margin. I'll give it some bezel around so that you can be off by like a decent bit.
So this, I'll just put this down here for a second, and if we look at it on top cam, I'll just put top cam. So top cam is now on. I'm assuming that is probably in shot. This has actually, that's a very good point.
Uh-oh.
This has automatic on. We have no automatic.
Do we not still have the control systems and stuff that would have been doing that? Because I feel like we've still got all the lighting control systems and the...
Well, not from the A6.
Oh, yeah.
It's also a completely different pinout on the back to anything else that we have.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. Okay. Do we have a small screwdriver that we can take the back of it off and at least see if there's... I mean, I'd be surprised if you could get into something inside to, like, put proper connectors on, but...
Probably not. I'd have to look up how the automatic lighting feature works.
We have a question from our camera op.
Because we can just skip past auto. Like, that's by a wide margin not a problem.
Honestly, right, the more I think about this, the more I'm like, honestly, I would just rather have a couple of like panel switches, just click, click, click. Don't get me wrong, I know they're lazy.
You know when you plan something and you kind of work it out, and yeah, that's I don't want to say it's not going to work. I'm just saying it's more complicated than we thought.
OEM stuff tends to be like, you could definitely make it work with enough effort. But really, how much effort is it worth?
So we can avoid... We don't have to deal with auto. Actually, okay, there's an interesting one. We could try and work out the pinout on this if somebody can pass me a multimeter.
I think the only multimeter we've got is in the garage, isn't it?
No,
and it's also flaky.
No,
have you got a good multimeter now?
Yes.
Because my old one that I left here is
still works.
Not working very well.
It works enough.
Okay.
But somebody would have to pick that up for me.
Wasn't it on your desk?
No, I think it's in the back room, if you can grab it, and then we can work this out. However, let's assume that this is going to work for us, because it is so
I love the optimism.
It's so much easier to mount than the other unit. Plugging is going to be difficult, although we still have the wiring loom from the A6, so we should be able.
We might be able to just cut the connector off and
and
use
then wire into whatever we need.
Alternative
This is
option.
a lot of how the behind the scenes go in our episodes, where we look at something, find things are a problem, and go,
How about we do the really stupid thing? Right, you know,
Yes.
do you remember how auto worked on this?
How do you mean?
Like, when you put it on auto, what was the behaviour? Because I know what auto behaves like in a few of our other cars.
Oh, well, it has a light sensor.
Right. Do you know how it works in my parents' BMs?
Go on.
If it's on auto, the lights are on. That's it. Simple as. They turn off with the ignition. That's the only, like, automaticness of it. You turn the ignition off, or rather, you effectively turn off the battery's ability to charge.
Yes,
and it turns the lights off, right?
That is essentially what I would expect.
Why don't we just do that? Why don't we just slave the headlights directly off the ignition?
That does...
Like, if the engine's running...
Side lights.
If your headlights are on, you don't care.
For the IVA, you have to be able to turn the lights on and off.
Do you have to be able to turn them off?
I have to presume, yes. Because there are situations where you wouldn't want your headlights or main. Obviously, you wouldn't want...
Well, your beams, you'd obviously... Yeah, we have a stalk for that,
But, yeah, if you go, can you turn the lights off? I physically can't.
Turn the ignition off.
They don't need
to know. So to answer our camera ops question of how much of the car's scavenged parts aren't VAG, the Land Rover Freelander first intercooler.
Hang on, go front to back because it's just
okay, front to back. Okay, so from the very, very front, we've got Alfa Romeo.
Go on.
No, not Brera headlights. They'd be too new and too expensive. Why am I failing on this? I know this. I've named them like 1,000 times. Some Alfa or other headlights. Porsche 944 3-litre turbo.
I'm going to go through and I'm going to pull pictures up and put them behind you.
So,
just you're going
to be. This is going to be a very slow list if we're getting images of everything as we go. Can always run a ground for our lighting relay through a switch. Yeah. I mean, that's basically what we'd end up doing if we had a switch at all. It's just like...
if I do that, that's not helpful. That's
probably not the camera you wanted.
There we go. Alpha 159.
That's the bugger, yeah.
But it also, you were close because it does also fit those lights on.
The Brera's lights are quite similar, if not the same. They might be, I don't know. So yeah, headlights off one of those. Radiator off of a Porsche 944 3-litre turbo.
Yes, which I'm not going to put up because too difficult.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, especially trying to find one specifically of a 3-litre turbo. Just a 944 should be fine. Moving, what's the next piece back from that? I guess probably the Caterham coilovers that are in the front?
Yes. So that is... oh, God, I've forgotten who make the dampers. It's Ibex Springs on...
I can't remember.
Oh, God.
It doesn't matter. We got them from Caterham or a Caterham supplier.
Yeah.
They're intended for a Caterham. In the same way you wouldn't say it's like Öhlins shocks on a Volvo. You'd say they're Volvo shocks. If we'd got... Right, okay.
Bilstein dampers with Ibex springs. So they are from the sort of general Caterham 7 type style. I've actually just found a pair on eBay. They're 600
back
quid.
A bit,
we did not pay 600 quid for ours.
And then back a little bit further, we've got the Bosch 44 fuel pump, which I don't know if it came off a car. I think it's just a 44
it's
pump
a Bosch
that we
44.
got. Yeah.
Well, it's not even a Bosch 44, it's a clone.
Oh, okay. That's close enough.
It alleges that it's a Bosch 44, but the price I paid suggests
it's not. Yeah, fair enough. And then next from that, we have to get through the firewall, I think, don't we? No?
Wipers.
Oh, of course, yes. We've got wipers off of some particular generation of Smart 4.2.
A first gen Smart 4.2.
And we have a windscreen from a second gen Smart 4.2 because we're really
smart.
Dumb.
Yeah, pretty much. The next bit back from there, fuel tank, controls, scoops, windscreen.
A lot of it's then it's. I think that the next piece back is the E46 vent. Oh yeah, it could be you could say it's the MG coolant lines.
Yep. So we've got MGTF stainless steel coolant lines which
down the length of the car.
They fit alarmingly well.
They're amazing. Like they're the perfect length to get through the passenger cell of this thing.
We did have to heat them and bend them a little bit to make them properly work, but yeah, for the most part, they really, really did work.
Yeah.
Wheels.
Oh, off of some Porsche or other. Yeah.
Yeah, wheels are from a Porsche 911 with some hub adapters.
I mean, that's basically just a VW Beetle, though, so still
it's
counts.
5x130. It's
very big Beetle wheels.
Yes.
Then you've got the various E46 vents that we've got.
Yes, E46 BMW 3 Series, middle centre vent from the dashboard. Then seats are generic.
Yeah, seats are generic. Handbrake is obviously also VAG.
Then you're up to rear suspension again.
I think
because all the engine is VAG.
Yeah.
All the suspension at the back is VAG other than the coilovers, or it's homebrew, and then it's Land Rover. Freelander.
Yeah, the Land Rover Freelander intercooler.
And then Alfa Mito rear lights.
Yeah.
Which are confusing.
And the BMW Mini, I can't remember what generation it is. Is it the M50? No, I'm thinking of an engine designation, R something.
51, 52, non-Coupe.
Centre tail light.
Yeah, it's the
reverse light. Sorry, fog and reverse, isn't it?
Fog and reverse, yeah. The centre one, which I still need to find another one because we cracked ours, and that was a critical, critical error.
That is all the parts that are from other cars that aren't VAG cars. There's plenty in there, obviously, that we've missed that was all homebrew.
So, let's assume that this piece is going to work, and then I'm going to go back through chat and answer some of those questions. So what we know is that this has, it's about 63.5mm OD, but that's with a little bezel on. So we're going to recess it into a 62mm hole.
That's a good point. I've not been doing any CAD at all for a little while.
So that will fit in, and basically it wants a little bezel that sits around the front so that it will sit over whatever mess of a hole we make in our little panel, and then it needs a piece on the back so that it will clip in, because it has these three little studs over here. Not studs, these three little spring clamps, and that's what holds it in to a small detent. So I think what we're going to end up having to do is like a barrel arrangement that will sit around there, that these will press up against, and actually we can probably bend these out some so that they have a much more positive engagement, because this is meant to be close enough that you can just pull this out from the dashboard, but we don't need to do that because we can get in through the top of our dash, squeeze them down and pop it out the front. So that's going to make life an awful lot easier for making sure that this is going to fit in securely. So that's somewhat beneficial to us in this instance, which is extremely useful. So Chris is going to, when I put him back up on there, Chris is just making up part of the initial bezel that's going to sit on the front and start running through
riveting stuff.
That. I'll just throw Chris on main whilst I have a quick look through chat. So, Ash says, how do you Q-plate? Basically, we will end up Q-plating it, I think. I would love to be able to put that registration on, or indeed the one from the TT that we took apart, but there is a point system for how you maintain your original registration. And as much as we have engine, gearbox, suspension, steering, brakes, all of these things give us ample points to maintain.
Do you remember what the outer diameter of the front shell is?
About 63 and a half.
Okay, so that one's the one that's 63. Okay.
And then the behind that little bezel is 62.
Cool. Behind the... Oh, right, okay.
Where it recesses down for that to sit against. So yes, so we have ample points to maintain our registration. However, one of the key things that you're not allowed to avoid, so you're not allowed to not have, is the chassis. You have to use the original chassis,
which we are very much not.
We definitely don't have. As much as we'll just cut the VIN plate out and just weld it on somewhere. It'll be fine. They'll never notice the difference. I am sure they would. So yes, as Ronald Reagan points out, side windows are MX-5.
Oh yeah,
yeah, MX-5, NA and NB, because weirdly the Mark 1 and Mark 2 have exactly the same quarter lights. I don't know why they did it. Presumably they had a very good supplier already.
I'm trying to remember how I said I'd design this thing. I think the rough idea is you wanted like a big panel.
At one point you were talking about having a threaded insert that goes through. I don't think we need that at all. I think we could, because we can get into the back, we can bend these up to make them much steeper engagement.
Yeah. And
it will just sit up against it. And then as long as this sits through, in theory, we could make this so that it just sits onto the panel.
Yeah.
And I can trim down the edges so that will fit. It's going to take a long time to trim it exactly to size, but it's not the end of the world.
Okay.
And then we have a ring which slides over the back and locks it into place up against the back of our panel.
So roughly speaking then, so if we imagine something like an outer ring that fits over the face of this and overlaps slightly into the front of it, right?
Yes.
So that it's effectively pressed up into it there. That then runs down the back of it, past, the front sort of half inch or so of it, through a hole in the panel. Actually, no. Oh, I really need to think about this some more. Sorry, can you just like waffle for a bit?
I certainly can.
With the main camera on, and I'll just.
So yes, Ronald says that is very much also not from VAG. That is from the MX-5. As John says, yes, we could just run aground to all of our lights, so we can go full stealth mode with a switch and just go hidden mode and just run away, which would be quite entertaining.
It would also get us through the IVA.
Headlight machine guns, a lot harder to install. Headlight semi-automatics, like pistols.
Yeah, I do not have my Category 5, unfortunately.
Yes.
So no automatic rifles for us.
Tyre spikes, that would be very difficult, but we have got a nice big opening in the diffuser that could just go thunk and
we could
drop,
definitely
and it
machine
would work.
some Boda-Cheers for it.
Yeah. Ejector seat also, I mean, it might have that anyway. You never know how those seat belts.
Whoever suggested that missed the opportunity and should have called it the Ejecto-Seato.
Yes.
Uncultured swine.
Yeah. Would you? So you'd have to design it so the roof can come off. What roof? There is no roof currently. The front splitter is in fact there to take out ankles to some degree. Yeah, currently, Jason, there is no roof. There is plans for a roof to exist in theory, and we have made it so that the storage pockets on the side will actually take the roof rails down the side and they will fit in. So you can stow what I would like to have as a roof within the car when you go somewhere, and the center panel will actually tuck underneath the engine cover, so you could put that in underneath if we do it as a solid piece, which I'm extremely happy that worked out that way. I don't know whether or not it will, but yes, there are 2 rails which run down the side, kind of vaguely planned, and again there's lips so that it will fit in and it will positively lock, so when it's in place it will lock at the front, so it shouldn't be able to be caught by the wind and go and pop and come off that way.
Okay, I figured it out.
Okay.
If you want to do the complicated thing and not turn this into a great big like panel bolt, where you just have a threaded thing that goes onto the back of it and clamps it in.
I am okay with that not being the plan.
Okay, but that's the easy thing.
Oh.
So the other thing that we can do instead is sleeve this, right? But the sleeve has to live in the car. So we'd have to make a collar that fits around the body of it, slips forward over the back, and that this clips into.
Oh.
And the collar is what would go into the panel from in front, but you'd have to like glue the collar in or something.
That feels easier.
It kind of is, but it's more dimensionally sensitive. Because I also then, I have to like get it around, you see all these extra little bits of...
No, you don't.
Shite that's around there.
Because I cut them off.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough.
We need one in theory, but we can deal with that by having the 3 springs go into a detent on the inside so it doesn't rotate. Or it's got a...
Oh, but no, I was going to use that as a key for, like, rotationally.
It has a massive key on it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
that's what's going to hold it the right way up.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Cool.
Just make a big sleeve that is...
So, yeah, the sleeve basically is... I'm trying to think of a way to like, visualize the shape of it. The T would be... do you remember the pipes in Super Mario?
Yes.
Right. It'd be kind of like that, right? You'd have your sort of cylinder coming out the panel, and then a little wider face that presses up against the panel.
Yes. Perfect.
And that is of such a depth that when this is fully inserted, the tangs on it like just pop out the back of it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely perfect. Make it so.
Oh, I don't know why that was so difficult for me. That was...
Yes, multimeter, I know you are turned on. Put that there for a minute. So, now the fun game begins, where we try to work this out. Yeah, I mean, Zeus fasteners will do that. When in doubt, more adhesive. Yeah, that's just more glue. I mean, have we glued anything onto the car yet? We've hottest glued, like welding. The welder is the hottest of glue guns. I'm going to stick these 2 pieces of metal together with electricity.
Sounds really lame when you say it like that.
In fairness, you've 3D printed parts of the car with the welder.
We have, yeah, as
I do not like 3D printing with the welder.
We have 3D printed with that welder quite a lot more than we ever should have. So...
Yeah, I don't think there's anything in the car that's held together by adhesive at the minute. I mean, apart from stuff that's held together by adhesive that VW and Audi put there in, like, the engine and whatnot, but...
How dare you?
All right, Greta.
It just got upset right then. Okay. I have tried Googling for that wasn't finding the right one.
Beep.
Yeah.
Beep. Am I fooling you yet?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is going to be absolutely thrilling.
Riveting content, yeah. What about friction welding? We definitely have not friction welded anything.
No.
I don't think we've got anything that even could. I don't think our milling machine could do it. Because it's what, like is it a 2 horsepower motor? Is 2 horsepower enough to friction weld with?
Depends on if you can get it moving and going past.
Well, I mean, 2 horsepower is that's 1.5 kilowatts of heat. I just don't know if you can. I mean, like a small enough joint, you probably could. You'd have to get the RPM silly.
Yeah, I was going to say with enough rotational speed, you probably can.
Yeah, I don't think
if you get them going and then get them up, but you might have to get them up to temperature in a few touches rather than just going and pushing them and making them angry with one another. You probably have to get them going, and when it starts to slow down a bit, then go off and then go again. I mean,
I don't think it would work. I don't think we can do it.
I don't think it would work.
I'd love to, because it's a really, really cool process, but I don't think we can make it happen.
Okay, so far, Auto is not coming up with anything on here, and I haven't yet managed to find common ground. which is also somewhat disappointing. Because I was really kind of hoping that would be... Wow, okay, that's terrible. Oh, hello. Right.
I'm not going to lie, between me doing the CAD and you, like, doing continuity tests on the back of the connector, I feel like at least one of these things is something to do off-stream.
I disagree.
Evidently. I do need the backspacing from... Oh god, where would it be from? From the back of that front flange to the front of the clips. No, I said flange. Demonetized.
That is going to need a tape measure, which...
I mean, to be fair, it doesn't actually have to be precise, because it's not like I'm printing this right now.
I would say, at a guess...
15 mil? Let's go 15 mil.
18.
18. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Ronald. So there is, all of a sudden... I'll come back to you in a second, Ronald. There is a tape measure coming in from off camera. Now, this is... How good is my estimation going to be? So from, let's
I'd be surprised if it's near 18. I'm.
So from the back of the, do you want it from the back of the little flange?
Yeah, and from the furthest back part of the from the furthest back part of the back side of the flange. Oh yeah, because the whole thing is curved as well, which I'm not modelling that. I'm sorry, you're on no. Not happening.
It is 18 mil, and I'm not even kidding. You could call it 17 and a half, and you know, if you really want to like poop all over my chips. But I tell you what, that is
as near as makes no difference. 18 mil.
Verify, because goddamn.
I'm trying to remember because it's dished. Okay, it's on the top that I want to measure it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. It's dished. I can't remember which side I actually measured.
So I'm going to want...
I went from 10 just to try and be...
Yeah.
So...
God damn it.
It's basically 18 mil, isn't it?
Aid with his calibrated eye.
Oh, sorry, Banks. And that's Loki gone as well. I just managed to bop them both on the head with the tape measure, putting that away, so...
We've had
Oh. Are you going to sit down there? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Cat Cam is... Yep, he's just chilling. Yeah, you make yourself comfy down there.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. Got the dimensions right, because I don't actually trust myself.
Just leave Cat Cam up on rear screen for a little while. So, yes, at some point we are going to do a streaming setup type video, but probably not as a stream, because we'd be using the equipment to stream a description of the stream, and that gets far too complicated to try and
to be fair, now that we have the magic camera...
Well, we have the magic camera now, which makes life an awful lot easier. But yes... yes, that is the
one that's over there is the driver's seat.
Yes, over that side. But we are going to do a video on the streaming setup and kind of what things do what and how it works. But at the moment, it's going through a state of flux as we just throw more tech at it. Which does that count as a tangent? That's the key question.
Can I have the tape measure again, please, kind off-camera person? Just reaching awkwardly in across the... I love that.
I've noticed on wide cam from over there is just Binks's head just sits right in the corner of frame. Do we have a tangent counter up now? There we go. This is also one of the things that we added with Jess throwing yet more technology at it.
Just embarrassing us with our own ADHD.
Yes, pretty much. So yes. That is, in fact, the TT seat from earlier.
36 millimeters. Thank you very much, kind off-camera tool dispenser.
When you say blood sacrifices to make the car, do you mean like wounds? Because there have been a lot of wounds inflicted by that car, mostly on me. I still bear some from... Actually, most of these are from the Thunderbird, pulling stuff out of the... I managed to catch myself on my neck when I tripped over something and I was carrying a particularly sharp panel that I just cut. I've got cuts across this hand. There's a slice here from a piece of metal that was particularly sharp. Yeah, I'm not that clumsy. I'm just...
Bloody are.
Yeah, maybe. I've just seen Jason's comment. He's friction welded a few inserts into the lathe by accident. Yeah, that's not ideal.
That seems like something I would do.
Oh, was that on the on that Chevrolet that you put the story up from earlier, John? The trying to remove the headlights.
FreeCAD is angry at me.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you got the headlight? There it is.
Yeah.
I think I found common ground, which is convenient to a small degree. Although I haven't found. I found where one button works. One action connects to, but not any of the others yet. So there we go. That makes life an awful lot easier. That was not me finding something that worked. That was unfortunately just okay. That doesn't do what I wanted it to do at all. So either that's not common ground. No, but then that would have to work one way or another. Okay. This is not going well.
Sooner or later, we're going to find that my dad's in chat. Oh, actually, no, we've already got an electrician in chat, haven't we? We've got Mad's MSG's a Spark. We might well have two.
MSG is a CPA.
What's a CPA?
Accountant.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Wait, who did say they were an electrician?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I remember, he was a CPA.
Okay, so that didn't help. That doesn't help. That.
Oh, hang on, no. I mistook I'm the electrician for I'm an electrician.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just putting it out there. I have absolutely no idea how this switch does anything at all.
How far forward does that cut out that notch on the bottom of it go? Does it go all the way to the front panel, or is it?
No, to within about 5 or.
It doesn't.
To within about 5 or 6 mil of the front.
Okay.
Call it 6.
Yeah, I'll do it as another piece then. I'll just take his word for it. If Aid says it's 5 or 6 mil, it's 5 or 6 mil. Like, I've learnt not to question his...
Again, to the back or... to the back of the little bezel at the front,
yeah,
it is 6 millimeters.
Excuse me. 6 millimeters, did you say?
Yeah. Mad Scientist says, I do amateur electrical work, home renovations, car revival and cooking. I'm actually halfway decent with accounting. Yeah, only halfway.
Binks is so concerned about?
I don't know. Do you know what? He's actually looking at himself and trying to work out what's going on, which is genuinely amazing. So if I do that, yeah, you see.
You know what? This is a lousy way to try and use a computer. Is by via Wow.
Yeah, don't do that.
This is amazingly difficult to coordinate.
Don't do that.
No, I'm just going to go back to using my own monitor.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. John runs a tight shipwreck. Brilliant. So, let's see if we can get into the back of this.
How have I still got a degree of free... Oh, that's how.
It is only three tiny little screws. I just need a tiny, tiny little screwdriver to get into it. Not quite jeweler level, but pretty close to jeweler level screwdrivers. I'm going to turn that off for the time being before it gets all angry at me. So yes. So in addition to working on the car today, we've also been working on the Thunderbird earlier this week, and I'm sure John will love this particular horror show that we pulled out quite some time back. So the episode that went out yesterday for patrons and should have gone out today, but I got distracted because we were doing stream stuff. So it will be going out tomorrow morning or last thing tonight. We took off the back end of the Thunderbird. So we removed all of the rust. Well, I say we removed the rust. We removed a good deal of solid metal, and unfortunately, I just tapped it over here. This is not solid metal.
It's not even solid filler. It's
This is all metal. This is rust, as you can probably tell. And then there is that. And that is horrible. That is just body filler that has been squidged through a hole so that
Pink's giving himself a scratch on it.
It would vaguely look like somebody had fixed the problem. And it's all lies. It's every single bit of it is lies. There's a huge amount of it inside that is just burnt. Well, the stuff over this side just looks burnt because this sits next to the exhaust, so it's got hot, and it has just cooked it a little bit. Oh, there we go. I've just managed to cut my thumb on the edge of this.
Having now undone these three screws, I'm pretty sure the minute I pull on this, it's going to be like a little clock and just go poing, and bits going everywhere.
That's possible. But yeah, this is, in places, the better part of an inch and a half, sort of 30-some-odd mil thick. It is absolutely horrible. But yeah, squidged through. Yeah, basically that.
It is a good word.
It's just nasty, you know? I can't imagine...
Honestly, that poor Thunderbird, like, don't get me wrong, I don't think I don't think we're going to be the best possible Guardians.
I know we are not going to be the best possible Guardians. However, I know that it's going to leave my ownership at some point in the future
a lot better than...
in better conditions. So I think at some point...
if you set the bar low enough.
Yeah, this is probably going to go on the wall under here, like this, with its sort of cancerous mass on this end. And then this was the quite impressive bit that we took off, which unfortunately didn't quite come out in one go. But this is the entire length of the rearmost section of the Thunderbird rear quarter. So this is where it rolls around and goes underneath the bumper at the back onto the back of the car, and this is the very front edge that comes down the back of the rear wheel arch, so as it drops down. And this was completely empty. You could put your hand all the way through, all the way along here to about this point, and then the rear panel was intact along this end, and this little bit of metal was the only thing that held these two pieces together. Pretty much like that, although a little bit further off. And we have the front piece as well.
That little bent out piece just there that it was on.
So these are going to get mounted.
This is clipped together so well, it's not coming apart. I can't be bothered. I don't care enough.
I will have a fiddle in a minute. So this is probably going to go underneath it on the wall like that. Now the upside is... Oh yeah, and there's another bit from the front as well. I think we'll try and mount this onto some poster board or something like that. Oh, I've just got rust all over my laptop.
You're just going to just cover this whole wall in bits of seafood.
No, I was going to say we can probably give that away at some sort of milestone.
I don't think people want that.
There is another piece that somebody horror showed their way through. That's... Oh, no, didn't want it on that one. Yeah, another 3/4 of an inch thick piece of filler that just sticks through, which is horrendous. But we have this whole box and another whole box like this.
Oh, the other one's full.
The other one is actually completely full of rust. Genuine 1966 vintage rust. Expertly
I think
prepped.
that's it, by the way. There's really not all that much to it.
No, that's actually surprisingly simple.
Yeah.
Wow. Do we want to make the bezel at the front any... How wide is the bezel across the front?
I can't remember. It's in this sketch here. There is a 6.5mm difference between the ID and the OD.
Okay.
So there's, I don't know, like 3-ish mil
3 and change, overhang. Which seems perfectly reasonable. So yes, we can probably try and do something with that. Although, as I say, it is completely pointless if we can't do anything with this.
Yeah, it does need to like be electrically good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 2mm of overhang. Sorry, some of it is the actual tube itself.
Ah, okay.
There's 2mm of overhang.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Although we might want more to allow us for like the inevitable ½ inch of slop that we'll have in our
where
circle.
we completely abjectly fail to make this look any good whatsoever.
Roughly how much room? Okay, so we've got the circle that's in there, and then we've got 10mm box on each side of it. So in theory, I can overhang by quite a bit. I'm going to go to 75mm on the outside there, and that's what that ends up looking like. So that should give us...
Oh, easily.
Don't say that.
I could actually
That's an unwarranted level of confidence in our precision.
actually do with a flathead screwdriver now to get the clips off.
I was going to say that's where I got stuck, but I'm like because there's like 3 of them around at different points.
Okay, no, what I thought I was undoing there with the flat head is actually the very front bezel.
There are clips around the inner edges on the back face.
Yes, there are. Oh, but they might actually come off.
I don't think they will.
Do you know when there's something that you think it was definitely put together
to never come apart again?
But to never, ever come apart. And if it ever fails, you don't take it apart.
No, you just replace it. Yeah,
you bin it and move on with your life and buy a new one.
Yeah, it is like a distinct piece. Yeah.
So we might yet.
Yeah, it's well in the spirit of modern, like, at the very best, you replace a subsystem.
Yes, pretty much.
There's no component level repair anymore, really, outside the engine.
Okay, so, very quick new plan.
Oh, no. Oh, no, it's happened. It's finally happened.
What's that?
Someone's asked about the computer.
Do you want to talk about your computer?
If you're going to sit and, like, potter with something for a minute, because obviously I've let you cover for me for a little while, so it's only fair. So yeah, my computer. For a little while, I don't know if I ever actually showed it on stream, but for a little while I had a little ITX, very small form factor case that I made back in December or so. I built it specifically so that I could go on a trip, a work trip abroad, because I didn't have a laptop or anything. So I had to quickly put together a case for my PC, designed it, 3D printed it. I might even still have the model on my computer here. So I'm just going to see if I can dig that out real quick. SFF PC. No, I only have... No, all I've got is the circuit designs for the power supply I'm building, unfortunately, not the case. Oh, I bet the case is in Windows. I could reboot and show the case. I don't think I will. Anyway, I had a little small form factor PC that I built a little while back. And I think it was fairly novel. Like, it had a bit of lithium-ion battery storage inside of it. It had a DC power supply, so like it would take battery power into... I think I actually have it right here. This is called a Pico PSU, named because it's extremely small, that plugs directly into the motherboard, takes DC power and gives you system power. And that was really quite cool. I ran that for a good while. And then, yeah, I did. So it had about 75 watt-hours of lithium-ion cells, which Adrian could actually reach to with his right hand, that PCIe riser box over there. So I had 5 of these Molicel. It's a heavy old box, that, isn't it? Because there's, like, a lot of them in there. So it had 5 of these Molicel 21700 lithium cells in it that would basically form a backup power system. Mainly it was USB-C powered. So I had a little USB-C decoy trigger board, which is even smaller. That's this little fella here. You plug in a USB-C cable and it'll give you 20 volts. And so that was powering the system. It would charge the battery and everything. And then unfortunately, so I went for a fairly weird construction with the chassis. There was like a plastic base plate that the motherboard and system kind of clipped down, sat down into. Then the 4 walls of the chassis, which included the battery tray and holder that would sit down and click in on top of it. And then the whole thing was held together by a top plate which went over the top and had big through bolts, like sandwich bolts, all the way down through the mounting holes in the motherboard, down to the bottom, to the base plate of the chassis. Unfortunately, it turns out when you've got lithium-ion batteries that are able to put out, I think between the 5 of them, they could probably do about 800 watts or so, or more in a short. Probably more in a short, actually, because it's even worse then. But like, they're rated for 800 watt continuous output, the 5 of them. And the through bolts that I use, I didn't like sleeve them or anything. I just had steel bolts running all the way down through the case. And in the corners of the case, the batteries and the battery terminals, which I didn't cover because I'm an idiot, were exposed. And I managed to send battery voltage while the power supply was connected. So like the whole system was, you know, it had potential differences in it. And I managed to connect lithium-ion battery voltage into the ground plane of my motherboard because I sent one of these steel screws down through the case, didn't have everything lined up right, and it contacted both a battery terminal somewhere in the thing and one of the little ground pads around the mounting holes in the motherboard. So I blew my motherboard to smithereens. Magic smoke did escape, and it never booted up again. So I've replaced it. I am on a relatively... So that was a very, very old Intel board. This is a much more modern... Yeah.
I am an idiot.
Yes.
I have remembered we actually have the correct light switch. There is a circle that plugs into the correct pinout.
Oh, because have we got the A3 one or something?
It's on the car.
On the car?
It's connected to the loom currently.
Oh, just dangling around in the... Oh, brilliant.
I'm going to go and grab that while you continue to explain.
Cool. So yeah, so I blew that system to smithereens. I got some second-hand AMD Ryzen parts. That was an old 6th gen Intel Skylake machine, very, very old, really struggling. So I got myself a nice Zen 3. Is it Zen 3? Ryzen 50, yeah, well, anyway, I think it's Zen 3. Ryzen 6-core chip. The only problem is no integrated graphics, which means my old case that didn't have room for a GPU was no good anymore. So I'm designing a new machine. So I've gone sandwich style. I've got a much flatter CPU cooler on it now to like try and squash that half of the system down. I've got a graphics card under here, breathing air in through the surface of the table, which not very clever if I was doing anything under load with it, but right now it's cold, so it's fine. So yeah, that's going to be the new machine, but I still need to actually do the CAD to design the chassis for this to enclose it. Now, if I just crack open Discord, I believe our video mixer, actually, I think I can probably just say to our video mixer that in the DIY and projects channel in Discord a little while back, there are some pictures of the rough sort of geometry that I'm going for in this thing. So with this arrangement, there's a whole ton of like dead space around the graphics card on the back side of the board. So the main board is 170mm in a square. And on the back side of it, the graphics card doesn't fill anything like that whole footprint. So I've decided I'm going to put batteries in all of that dead space. So where the old system had 5 P42s in it, which would give me about 75 watt-hours of energy, this is going to have 15 of them. And I'm going to have all that battery in there, but without actually adding any volume to the system, because it's all just dead space in there. So this is currently sat here in basically, apart from having a full desktop ATX power supply, which is hilarious because it's as big as the entire rest of the machine near enough. This is kind of how the core of the system is going to be once I've got batteries in it. So I've been slowly accumulating parts. I've got some big power resistors that I'm using to test my battery charging systems. I've got some DC buck converters and everything that I'm going to charge the battery with. And the most important part is a 100 watt USB-C PD supply that's run off a car cigarette lighter adapter that's going to live inside the system, and that can power my monitor, I hope. So yeah, it's a fairly novel little build, I think. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I think that if I can make this all work, it should be quite good fun. The only downside is that now the system idles at way higher power consumption than the old one did. So running it off of USB-C is going to be a little bit trickier. One of my favorite things about the old one is I could run it from my USB-C power brick, which I've helpfully stowed away somewhere on just like a 20 volt 5 amp power delivery feed. I'm probably not going to be able to get away with that quite so much on this one, just because like flat out the system at the minute draws like 160 watts. And in fairness, the batteries will just supplement. Like if I've got 100 watts coming in on USB, the other 60 will just draw the batteries down. And then as soon as the load goes away, the batteries will just get recharged again. So I think it'll probably still work out okay overall, but it's definitely not going to be the same kind of can always run from USB-C just continuously like the old one did, because the old Intel system, as much as it was a bit gutless, it idled at about 15 watts of power consumption, which is nothing. Like my old laptop used more power than that, although granted my laptop had a screen and this computer didn't. So yeah, really, really efficient, the old one. And this one is not so much, but vastly more powerful. Oh, cool. Of course, yeah, that's a good point. I can just put my screen on, can't I? Just being helpfully reminded that we have tech here on the stream. So I'm just scrolling through Discord now myself, and yeah, here is on my screen an example of like. So this is approximately how I imagine the layout working once it's all done, and then there's going to be one more cell around the back of the motherboard, like behind this one further around there, just to bring it up to a 5 cells in series, 3 in parallel, which gets it to a voltage that nicely matches USB-C. So it should be very easy to charge and run. Yeah, fairly novel. It's going to be fun wiring up the batteries and the balancer and everything. And I do still need to figure out a way to power it, because the Pico PSU that I have is only good for, at the voltage I'm running it, will only do about 4 or 5 amps continuous on the 12 volt rail, which is nowhere near enough to feed this system. So I've got a horrible feeling that I'm going to be running my graphics card off of one of these little buck converters, which seems a little bit dirty. I'm not sure if it will work. I might have to put like a massive a massive smoothing capacitor or something in to keep the GPU fed.
Well, I am extremely pleased I remembered that this existed.
Back onto car stuff.
Yeah. I have no idea how this managed to find its way into the kit car parts box. I suspect I saw it and went, "Ooh, yes, that's the round one. We need that," having not looked at the pinout on the back, because there is a huge difference between the pinout on this. This is 2, 4, 6. This has 8 pins and does auto lights, side lights, headlights, front fogs, rear fogs across 8 pins. This one seems to be wired to every single light in the entire car, because while this does off, side, main, front and rear fogs, this has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 pins across the back, and none of them are tiny little individual pins. These are heavy current carrying pins on the back of here. But it is a different size compared to that, so there are some adjustments to be made. At least, at least partly, it's fairly simple, because this detent at the bottom...
I can just move the detent.
The whole thing just needs to slide. Well, actually...
I mean, even if it's not the same, if it's just like a wider detent,
do you know
or
it's
sat it on a
actually
different
the
cord.
same?
It's the same cord. Nice.
Yeah, there's nothing... If I'd been smart, I would have brought the verniers in with me. But if you could pass me the end of that tape measure all over again, just...
I do love it just sort of creeping in from the...
It's so wonderfully absurd. Yeah, this is...
Does it have the same clips on the side for me to like have this sort of back spacing out to...
Oh, good grief, no.
Okay. That would be far too convenient.
That would be way, way, way too easy. This is, however, 60... That makes life harder. 60...
A close-up of Abe's very grubby hands.
Outside bezel is 63 mil still.
Okay, it's basically, yes.
With... So where on this one, it has that flange kind of sitting further back.
Yeah.
Also, we don't need to deal with the fact that it's got a dip in anymore. I still need to measure how big the dip is.
Oh, this one's not even curved across the face. Glorious.
It's perfect, isn't it? I think it's about 8 mil, this one.
God, you can tell it's from a more basic car, can't you? They didn't, like, contour it into the dash like this one.
I was off. This is 9. So it's 9 mil from the front edge back to that lip. And again, the lip is perfectly fine. We can sit with that. I'm going to need that again.
Hang on, 9 mil where on this?
So that distance back is 9 mil. So from wherever that's sitting up against to the front face of that.
Yeah. So that inner diameter is actually around the outside of that. So it goes fully, like this just fully sinks into the thing.
Well, this one does, yes.
Yeah, well,
but
they
yes,
both would.
63 mil, this will drop completely inside.
Cool.
Which is extremely convenient.
Yes.
And I like it a lot.
I think I'm going to have to... Oh, my God. You know, the other day I was wondering...
You just found your...
Hey, did anyone hide my phone charge cable? I'd put it back in my electronics projects box.
You hid it.
Yep. Shut
nice.
Up. Don't judge me. The downside is I don't have a USB-C port on my new computer. My old computer had a C port and my new one doesn't.
Ooh.
But that's fine.
Here's an interesting one, though, Chris.
Don't say that. It never is.
This has those detents where you twist, you push it in.
Yeah, I did see that.
Twist,
yeah.
And it opens back up. So on this one, on the A6 light switch, it just kind of pulls in and pulls out from the housing.
Yeah, and it's the pulling out that turns the fogs on. That's what I worked out. The indicators are.
Remove the whole thing.
Oh right, yeah, okay.
So yeah, you pull this out and it turns the fogs on and off as you pull it out from the housing. On this one, to remove it from the dashboard, when it's at the off position, you push the switch inwards and then rotate it as though you're turning the side lights on, and there are 2 little cam locks, effectively.
Okay, I don't want to say it, but that is quite clever.
Oh, it's incredibly clever.
Same one as my age.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you push it again and release it, and they lock back in place. So we can use those, glue that in, and this can still be removed effectively from the whole thing.
Yeah, if I put the right... Yeah, okay, so where do those have to be? Like, how far back do I have to...
So, from that flat detent, basically you need the overall distance of this to be significantly longer.
Okay, that's fine. Like, how much is significant? Because...
if you make it 35mm, that will clear the entirety of the body.
Okay.
The cylindrical body and go all the way back.
Yeah.
And then...
And there goes that.
that definitely didn't help. Pulling out turns the fog lights on. Twisting turns the side lights and main beams on. So from the back
not
edge...
sure that's the...
Oh, no, I know. It's 18... Yeah, it's 18mm.
Okay.
Back to where that...
To where the actual holes are that the cam locks fit into, right?
Well, you need a flange 18mm back.
Yeah.
So if you make... Actually, if you just make that 18mm...
Yeah... Oh, not 187,
it will
Jesus.
sit up against that point.
Oh, of course, so the cam locks will just sit on the back of this.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't actually need it to be... Yeah, chuck it here.
Because the rotational element is stopped by the bottom.
Yeah, okay. Oh, this has definitely got chewy with all of the
they're all
primer.
Like,
they actually?
Yeah, that's standard.
Wow.
Yeah.
This feels like it's full of primer.
This one, like, you can flick it round and it'll go. That needs very definite kunk.
Yeah, that is... Ooh.
Clip through. Right, that one can go away before I confuse it yet again. That can
cool.
also temporarily go away.
Yeah, this seems, like, easier than I expected.
Yes. I'm not going to lie, I'm extremely pleased I remembered where this was.
Cool. So, how long till I send the STL files to a friendly 3D printer owner?
You mean Jess on Vision? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So...
A year ago, I could have just sent it to Octoprint at home, and it would actually just be running by now.
Yes.
But then I broke it all because I'm an idiot.
Is Kunk a technical spec? It is. It is absolutely a technical spec. It's like the VW doors. They did an entire advert where their whole thing was like, it sounds like a Golf when you close the door. Clunk.
Just like a Golf.
The Golf clunk is almost, I think, a registered trademark.
It's like the Harley exhaust, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's that kind of level. But yes, that.
But that's not like a good Golf clunk.
No.
That's a horrible, janky...
It feels a little rough. Yeah. It feels a little more rough than I would like it to feel. But, yeah, like, that's... Yeah. Actually,
it definitely feels more A3 than A6.
This isn't... I want to say this isn't from an A6.
I mean, Yoda said it was the same as... No, the other one.
The other one is...
That's my point, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's
the comparison.
This is late 90s.
Yeah.
Early 2000s. That is... Late 2010. Early 2010s. Oh, okay. Late.
I mean, after all, we didn't know how to make switches in the 90s. We were still figuring that out.
Yes. I'm going to see what
we've been doing it for nearly 100 years, maybe even more, but we just hadn't quite got there yet.
1CO 941.
Oh, AIDS off down a rabbit hole again.
You have no idea. So, increment that tangent counter. The part number on this...
Would you like to guess at how many you're at now?
I don't want to know. No, I do want to know. I just don't want to guess.
Oh, I've unfortunately scrubbed a bunch...
I mean, I've also got the stream here.
I've scrubbed a good deal of this off when we've been messing around with it, which is a little unfortunate. But the part number was 4C 249... Sorry, 941 531D on this. So the first three letters are basically what car it comes out or what platform it comes out of. So the last six numbers are effectively the part number
of that car.
Of that
platform.
The last six numbers are the part. Mm. The first three are what it was designed for.
That part of the... Sorry,
yeah. This is 941 531A. They are exactly the same, except for this is designed for the 1C0 platform, and this is designed for the 4F. The 4F was the A6.
It makes sense. Aid, you are aware they're both light switches, right?
Yeah, I know. This shouldn't surprise me in the slightest, and yet, so this one.
You give the Germans a chance to be efficient with their part numbers, and they will be efficient with their part numbers.
So 1C0 is VW Passat. This is a 2005 VW Passat part. Wow. It's just, yeah. And I think I found this one because I went through and looked for everything from the same era as the A3, the TT, the A2 that we've got on the drive, looking for the same switch but in a housing where it was just a perfect circle rather than having a larger piece. And I can actually show you because I found the picture earlier.
There has to be a pinout listed for this. I mean, not that we need it because we have the loom, but...
Yeah. So this is the original one off the TT.
Oh god, this is so full of filings.
It's not good, is it?
I'm looking in the back of it. It is deeply unhappy in there.
It's worse because that's where the fuse box lives. That's where that's been plugged in. Yeah. So this is the one out of the TT, and this is the problem that we had. And it fastens in almost exactly the same way, but it has this massive plate that goes around.
Yeah,
it
and all the
it sat underneath the dashboard and fit in. It was a real kind of weird shape to deal with, so we didn't particularly want to be dealing with that. And this is the one from the A3, and you are going to ask me why somebody is charging $129.99 for
well, at least it's less than 130 quid
for this switch, which again isn't quite the same as the TT, and it doesn't sit at the edge. It sits fully within the dashboard, but it has height leveling, which we don't have and don't want to deal with.
Nope.
It has cluster light dimming, which we kind of have and we could have. I just don't care enough to implement it. So yeah, but I still can't quite get over the fact that somebody is trying to charge.
Oh, but look how clean it is.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get that for hours.
No.
No. But yeah, so that's actually incredibly useful.
Well, I mean, congratulations, the part still fits.
The part still fits, despite having changed.
I didn't even have to change any of the dimensions. It was 18 mil before, and it's still 18 mil now.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, cool. What am I designing next? I need more CAD to do.
Very, very pleased. I can send you the... oh, that's actually a very good point. We still need adapters for the cooler, which you have the STL files for. Not the cooler, the heater. To go from a 50mm tube onto the back.
You mean this?
Yes.
That's nearly complete. I just need to put the slot in the bottom of it.
Yeah, that would do it. Have you done the one for the air vents as well?
I have not done the one for the air vents. So this is the STL that you sent me, or the whatever it was that you exported from SketchUp, which I'm not sure if you can tell. It's a bit broken.
Deeply. Well, it was never finished. It's not broken. Oh, okay. It's just never finished. Okay.
So yeah, I need to put that bottom slot in.
Yes.
But other than that, we're pretty much good.
You do that, and I will find the other one.
I need to try and remember how this model is actually put together. Like, what did I make it out of?
Yeah, good luck.
Oh, I see. I started using a spreadsheet for the dimensions, and I immediately forgot that I was doing that. Nice. I have one dimension in the spreadsheet. Oh no, I actually did at least some of that slot. If I look around, here.
Right, let me try.
Right, hang on. Was that slot meant to go all the way through, or only in one side?
Only in one side.
Oh wait, oh, this is nearly done. I love it. Not sure how that happened. Not sure why it's that way up either, but whatever. Oh yeah, that was it. I was just actually, I just need to get the final dimensions in, and this is good. I just can't remember what the dimensions are.
That's absolutely not what I wanted. I wanted that.
So yeah, it's a 3mm tall runner, and it has how big of an overhang?
Could someone roll me a can? I would say throw me a can.
Have you not got like 2 boxes of them down there?
Yeah, but one's open over there.
Okay.
At air filter bracket, footwell, air filter, shelf pocket. Thank you very much. Let's see. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. That's...
okay, 3mm tall. 3 mil, 2 3 mil. Sorry, I'm talking to myself here while I just try and get my head around the dimensions.
That's not what that is at all.
Oh dear.
No, that's all lies. Okay. So this is the... I really should have a mouse for this. Oh no.
Like, neither of us are really conversing much right now.
Yeah, so this is the same part in SketchUp here from where I was trying to make it work, which it clearly is not working. I just put you back up there.
Oh, cool. I missed it. I wanted to look at it.
It's just the same thing that you already have.
I mean, I can actually. I'm just going to watch it a few minutes delayed on my phone.
That is some interesting hacks.
Oh, it's already been and gone. Unfortunately, I'd missed it.
Footwell vent adapter. Is it in windscreen vent? I don't know.
What on earth? Why did I build this like this?
You're asking me the same questions I'm asking myself. I really can't.
What was I thinking?
Okay, this is interesting though, because I'm going to export this. Do you have any preference of what type? What do you want it?
Honestly, it doesn't matter because they're all going to be like equally useless. An STL is fine. I can import an STL and just like pull dimensions off of it.
Okay. I'm going to throw this to you on Discord.
Excellent.
For, it's not really maximum convenience, but it's certainly an attempt. No, don't do that. Give me that. And then, yeah, send that.
What?
Right. So this was for the fan switch and the hazard relay. And I think I actually finished this.
Oh, God.
And I think this is printable from the SketchUp version that I've made, which is more interesting.
Okay.
Purely because it basically has no important curves in. Oh, no, it kind of does. It has a circle that goes around where the switch rotates.
Aid.
Maybe. Yes?
Oh, no, actually, sorry. When I opened it and I was like that way around, it looked horribly broken. I was like,
yes.
What have you sent me?
Yes.
But actually,
yeah.
From here,
so
it looks vaguely more reasonable.
You are upside down.
That is not cool.
There we go. So the top is the hazard switch, and the bottom is the fan speed controller that we butchered. Well, the hazard switch is the standard TT one.
Yeah.
But the fan switch is the one we butchered out of the Passat control unit, which is currently still sat on my desk underneath my monitor. If somebody
I recognise the hazard. I recognise the body of the hazard switch there.
The switch parts from behind my monitor on my desk. There's two random bits of horribly, horribly butchered plastic kicking around. So yes, that I think that might actually just print from where it is. Other than the circle, the two circles on the front are horribly, horribly janky.
Well, they're not circles, so
they're
just
not
like
circles,
high number polygons.
Yes, but that, strictly speaking, doesn't matter for where they need to go. Like that is.
Yeah, it will need some support, but it does look like it will pretty much just print as is.
I think it.
Yeah, just send it to Mint as well.
Oh, I was going to say, I think it prints lying down. It doesn't.
It'll be
need
printing
any support,
face down.
But there is still support needed for the flange that sits around on the thing.
Slicer will work it out.
Yeah, the slicer does just deal with all of that stuff. Cura is quite competent.
You've picked a good time. Jesse's printer is printing spectacularly well right now.
Excellent.
Marvelous.
That is exactly what we want to hear.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Yeah.
Yeah. Em's like, we can print it and work out how broken it is later. Sorry, I realise you're also there talking, but.
I've got to interact with chat and you.
Why would you? Why would you not? Why would you not grab Discord? There we go. Now, what people are doing? Everybody is watching me attempt to drag a file between two windows.
No, because that's on the other monitor.
Oh no! Well, yeah, that's a fair point. But go away, Discord. Well, no, don't go away. Just do the thing.
So, what was the purpose of the slot in the bottom of this thing again?
The vent that we have in the footwell has a flat plate across it, and this will essentially slide across the top, making the seal easier.
I'm going to have to leave you on your own for a minute.
Quote unquote, to deal with. Still, this is really annoying because I don't understand why this will not let me jump down through and drag these things around. This is ridiculous. None of that's helpful. There we go. Right. Finally, I have managed to send this. What? I don't know what's even being handed to me. Oh, it's the parts I asked for. Marvelous. So, coming in. Oh, you want your transport bucket back on the curtain rail. So this is the hazard relay switch, which does exactly what you think it would do. The hazard relay itself is actually completely contained within this, so we have to use this switch because the loom that we have relies on this switch to operate all of the hazards simultaneously. It's not in any other part of the loom or any in the relay panel. It is completely within this. So that is what... Oh, he's moved it. Please hold, caller. Your viewership is important to us. I'm going to try and drag this across here and then find my mouse pointer again. So this whole section at the top up here, which I'm guessing, yeah, you've done it for me. Thank you, Jess. This fits in, and these little prongs on the back go into these detents on the side, so that will hold it in place, and then the loom just plugs into the very back of it, so that works fine. And then, excuse me, this whole affair around the back here, I honestly can't tell you what that little box in the bottom is for, Chris. I have no idea.
Let's have a look.
Other than... Hang on. I think it's meant to have a light attached somehow. And the more I'm looking at this, the more I can see how I could dismantle this down further. But at the same time, I have already printed a thing that this fits into. So I don't really want to mess with it any more than I absolutely must. Although, no, because that... It's been quite a while since I designed this.
We get that impression.
Yeah. Where's that screwdriver gone? If I push this tab... Because it looks like I have already pushed this tab down beforehand. Whether or not I stab myself doing it is a different matter altogether. That is the faceplate, which will come off. Okay, maybe it won't. Nope, it won't. But that definitely looks like it comes off there with enough force. Do we get demonetized if I stab myself on camera?
No, I think that's fine.
Okay.
You probably get demonetized if you stab other people.
Oh, almost certainly. I don't think there's any question of that. Okay, I've got one detent out. And, okay, there's another one. So that's that. This is like one of those little mind puzzles. You know, where are all of the parts that I need to undo in order to release... Oh, I've just clipped that one back in. And I might have clipped that one back in as well. Right, thanks very much for hanging around, John. Hopefully we'll see you again at some point.
Maybe another roadkill event in
Yes.
however many years it is until we make it. Well, to be fair, you've been getting over there fairly regularly.
Yeah,
it's me that's been slacking.
I've not actually missed one since we did the first one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When was the last one?
This
was that October?
Yeah, October. Because it's now not Motor Trend.
In my defence, I was unemployed at the time.
There
very
we
poor.
go. Okay. I now worked out why I kept this.
Yeah. Oh, does it actually hold everything together?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, that'll do it.
This is what actually frames the large plastic piece that holds the front bezel on, so you can actually see. Because at the moment, this is in zero. This is off, but it could also be anything up to speed 2.
Okay.
So I have a sneaking suspicion. Yeah, that's what that is like that for. And I went with the lazy option and kept as much of the retaining plastic as I possibly could to make my life easier. And whether or not it will is a different matter, and we'll see once these parts get printed. But there is still some more of this we can trim off to make it fit.
I think that's now good.
Okay, neat.
I think. I'm not 100%. Like, I'm not quite sure what this extra top bit is for in the cutout in the end. Like, if I put the camera that way, I'm also not sure how it's ended up overhanging into the right wall. That's also kind of odd. But I'll get back to that in a minute.
Yeah.
To be fair, it might be because I measured the width of the slot from the STL file, but I'd separately measured the size of the whole thing from somewhere else on the file, and I've just like made the walls the wrong thickness or something.
Yes.
That could well be it.
Well, we can check that easy enough tomorrow.
Yeah.
To make sure that that's going to fit, and then
and then I just need to push. Just need to push like a little shelf back along there.
Yeah.
For it to sit on.
And then it will sit perfectly happily, which would be neat.
Yeah. So yeah, I think this is like pretty much there. I mean, it is difficult to tell because there's so much missing from this model.
I don't know what you mean.
I do not know what's happening up here. Like, FreeCAD is not enjoying rendering this.
It's really not, is it?
I mean, there's a lot of things FreeCAD doesn't enjoy, to be fair. Like, this is not a unique or new problem. This is definitely the CAD program for people who don't mind being beaten by their computer.
Yeah. So hopefully the plan with this is it slides on top of the little vent that we have in the footwell. And then it is almost a straight shot from one of the outlets on the heater directly into the end. So it'll be a nice straight run that just runs directly along.
So this is going to be sitting like on the top of the very front of the cooling tunnel in the middle of the car. So this is going to be basically between where both of our feet go, more or less.
Yes.
Well, not quite. It'll be a bit further back than that, but in that sort of ballpark.
No, it will be approximately where...
It'll be where the passengers' feet are.
Yes, yeah.
The driver's footwell is a bit further forward to make room for the
because it's got a pedal box into it. But basically, the vent that we've got in there is actually a rear passenger vent from an Audi A6, well, my old A6. It's an A6 C6 rear vent.
I'm going to make this not translucent anymore because that's doing my nutting.
Let's just try and move this over onto this window.
There you go. That looks a lot less.
1 sec. I'm just going to steal you a second. So yes, so it's one of these vents.
Oh yeah, this is the one that you made that plate around, isn't it? To effectively convert it into a panel.
Holds it in, and I suspect it might be a little bit more tricky. Ah, there we go.
And yeah, no, you're right, Ronald Reagan. Fusion is absolutely the CAD program for people who like waiting. I remember a while ago, you and I, Aid, we modeled something in Fusion, and then we wanted to export it to an STL file. Now, this does not feel like an operation that should be slow, right? I mean, here in FreeCAD, I can take the body. I can't remember where the button is for it. I think, is it File? Yeah, File, Export, and I get my STL file. It's all done locally. On Fusion, when you want to output the actual 3D model for printing or whatever, it's a cloud operation, and it goes into an online queue in Fusion's online services, and they, you effectively download the model, from them. And I'm like, none of this has to happen. It used to be a local operation. It's not like they don't know how to do this on your computer. Yeah, but like, no, it's a cloud service.
So this is the vent, which you can see has a little bezel on, and basically we've made a metal frame that clips into, that has it mounted basically vertically in the car. And then on the back here you can see there is this big plastic flange which sits around and has foam on the top of it, and in the car that sits in the foam compressors, and that's what seals it. Now we've taken the foam off, and the plan is that this adapter of Chris's will just slide across the top of that mounting flange, and that will hold it on the top and by and large seal it into one position, and that should work. The other one that we need to do is for the back of an E46.
While you're thinking, I will confirm, FreeCAD, it does beat you around a little bit. It does make you apologise for using it, but it genuinely, it's not bad. There is a reason I've been I was using Fusion 360 for like 2 or 3 years. Very, very lightweight use. I mean, you can tell from how long it takes me to model anything. I'm not like a power user of this stuff. But I was using Fusion on and off for a good few years, and I've now been a FreeCAD user for another 3 or 4 since then, and I don't regret it. Like, I've literally never felt like, man, I wish I was just using Fusion right now. So yeah, it gets like maybe a slightly weak endorsement, but I would definitely recommend it over Fusion at least.
So this is the vent area, which you can see on the E46 center vents.
Yeah.
Which again, they have foam around the outside, so we need to make something which is approximately the same size and will slide over the top of that we can seal with either tape, foam, silicone, whatever, and it will just fix onto the back and go from that shape hole, which I have got a photograph of somewhere with the correct size measurements on, to a 50mm tube. And then we can run two of those vents to two of the other outlets on the heater box. And the heater box has 4 outlets, one which will go into that footwell, 2 which will go into the top of here because they're independently adjustable to open and close them, and then 1 more that will go into a windscreen demisting vent which will run across the front, which is one of the only remaining pieces we need to add into the dashboard panels across the top before we can work out how they're actually going to fit down directly onto the top. So that's some of where we need to still do a little bit of work on. I'm just going to close that whole thing. So yes, I'm hopeful that that unit is basically done. This one, the other unit that I've done on this side...
Yeah, what's the one on the left? What's the square?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good talk.
Uh-huh. I have a feeling that is a mock-up of the frame in the car.
Oh, right, okay.
So that piece doesn't need printing because that already exists in steel, and I made that. That's what the little notch on the front is for, because this whole unit fits inside. Oh, uh-oh. This should have already been made into a component. Let's just make it into a group for the time being. I bet if I can spin this around, I bet this panel in the centre.
What, the rectangle that comes?
That hole.
Oh, so you reckon that's like a bezel fascia panel kind of thing to go on the front of the... Okay.
That's not what I wanted at all. That's what I wanted.
I'm not going to lie, I continue to be quite sure that...
yes,
nice.
It is.
I continue to be sure that it's more work to make OEM switches and stuff fit than to just put panel switches in.
Well, we still have to fit that one in no matter what. It's part of the problem, because that
it
is the
has
flasher relay. That is the whole unit.
That being said, you can also just get flasher relays as a thing that you arm them with a...
Yes.
With a toggle switch. So there are solutions for all these problems. I can't remember how Carl does does hazards in his kit car, because he's got a 3-way. He's got like a non-connected in the center. He's got a 3-position switch. Obviously, he flicks it left to get left indicators, flicks it right to get right indicators. You obviously can't flick it both ways to get hazards. I wonder if he's got like a separate button that turns on a hazard.
I think there needs to be a separate hazard button. And you can buy hazard warning flasher units for kit cars, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, you can get anything for kit cars.
I'm just looking.
Every so often, I look again through. Is it Car Builder Solutions? I think. Yeah, I have a bit of a scroll through them. Really, really great website. Tons and tons of little bits and pieces in there. It's actually their fault that I'm thinking of building a homebrew aircon system for the SD1, or rather, I say I'm thinking about it. Like, it's something that I fantasize about occasionally because I really don't want to have to rebuild my factory heater box.
Yeah.
And I think I've now been talking about it for. It's been something that's been like. I don't even want to say on the back burner, like even that is overstating it, but it's something that's like I've occasionally toyed with now for nearly a year. I do actually have somewhere, I've got CAD models for like what the heat exchanger unit and everything would look like. Like I've worked out what radiators would go in it. There was like some particular generation of Land Rover had a good shape of aircon condenser.
Oh, they do
that would fit nicely.
They do like a fixed catalogue that you can just leaf through.
Oh no, those are the worst.
Oh no.
There's nothing more dangerous than having like a really good catalogue near the toilet.
And you just sit down and go, ooh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
Oh, the number of imaginary pounds I've spent on demon tweaks while sitting on the throne is unreal.
It's not good, is it?
No, it's really like, and the thing is, like, very little of it is like properly superfluous stuff. Like, it's all stuff that would actually be useful. I mean, not like very useful, but like every car should have air jacks.
Even now, I'm looking at this and going, oh, they've got some auto-switching LED daytime running lights. 8 inches long. They're only 20 quid. I'm sure we could fit them in some... No, stop it.
No, bad aid. Well, I mean, no good aid. This would be better than, like...
Don't add more things in.
Yeah. It would be a little bit sad if we start removing manufacturers from the car in favour of, oh, you know, it's just like some generic like, aftermarket thing.
There is one that I do want to remove.
I don't like that mini tail light.
It's annoying.
I especially don't like figuring out a way to connect onto it because we cannot find tails for it anyway, for like that electrical connector on it. Like, we can't even find them at scrapyards. Like, we've been around the local scrapyards, we've been looking every so often for, what, like a year and a half or something now? And we've not found another one.
I've been going through eBay and finding people who are breaking with the correct one and going, hey,
and they're always selling the light, but no one's ever got the...
Even when they're breaking an entire Mini and they say, can you just cut me off the plug with some tails from the end of the loom? And everybody has either said nothing, not replied, no,
said,
I won't.
You buy the whole loom.
No, I won't do it. Which is like, okay, that seems a bit much. Or it's already sold. I'm like, I doubt it. That particular piece.
That is too specific to have already been sold every time. Yeah.
Way that is already sold. I'm looking through Car Builder Solutions at...
It's a dangerous game. It's a really dangerous game. I might actually just bring it up here real quick and just have a little bit of a scroll through. Oh, no, you can just put your screen on, can't we?
Oh, hang on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I might have actually found the solution, TM.
To what?
To the lights.
To the lighting problem.
Yeah.
Okay. I like where this is headed. I like not kit bashing OEM stuff into the.
My only dislike is that it's not symmetric, but it is a 237mm long.
Go on. What's the part number?
Rear fog light and reverse lamp in one unit. Ooh. And just a little thin LED strip.
Where am I looking? LED lights, rear fog lights.
Maybe. I mean, weirdly, there's a 248mm one, which is oddly different. But
I mean, that is a fog and... I can't believe they're 24 quid. Like...
This one, I can't believe that one's 24 quid, and this one is shorter and is 48. Explain that.
So, 6 bright white LEDs for it. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, this is the asymmetry that you were talking about,
yes.
right? It's
could put
the reverse is at one side.
We could put 2 of them on.
Yeah. Have they got shorter ones?
Well, yes, they've got this 237mm.
It's not that much shorter, is it? I was thinking
twice the price, and I don't understand why. But this one, pre-wired, 8-foot cable, 2 counterboard fixing, surface mount, E20 and F mark, so it's legit. 3.6 12 to 24.
Okay, so what have we got into? Oh, okay, so reverse lights are their own category. I mean, could we just get 2 reverse lights, a reverse light each side and a centre fog?
Don't say just.
Because I bet that big slab of, that big crossbar we've got all the way across the back of the car.
Yes.
I bet we could put some stuff in there.
Easily. So the downside with that is that big crossbar...
It is closed on the front side of it.
No, not just that.
Yeah.
It also needs to have a number plate on. With number plate lights.
Yeah.
So it needs them, which is why our fog light at the
moment
and
of course we can't hang the plate below it.
Correct.
Not much below it anyway, because then we'd be getting in the way of the diffuser.
Yes, you'd be creating an air brake on your diffuser as a massive sail, which is kind of terrible.
Somewhat undermining the point of
However,
the diffuser.
We could put 2 of these bars, 1 at each side.
Just one flipped, yeah.
So we have... Because they're ambidextrous.
I wonder what one of those would look like.
Terrible.
Inboard and lower.
Terrible.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fairly common design for a lot of tail ends to do.
I've looked at putting other circular things on.
Yeah.
And having lots of different sized circles looks incredibly weird. And
when it's lots of different sized circles, I can imagine it getting bad. 2 feels okay.
Yeah.
I need to look at some back ends of some cars then, because the R34 I think had 2 different sizes of tail light,
yes.
but they're also quite similar.
Yes.
And of course, all I'm getting is front ends and R35s.
There's the back, middle, at the back.
Oh yeah. So yeah, those are obviously quite similar, and they also follow a body line, right?
Yes.
So that's not the same scenario that we'd be in.
Yes. But they're also higher
Similar
up as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And we'd need... You have to have the fog light on the driver's side.
Quick, chat, tell us more cars that have multiple round tail lights that I can compare to and see how fuck ugly this would be. Not demonetized.
So... Yeah, like that is kind of interesting. Where was that other one that you found? Because I'm only the one that you just the 20 the reverse and fog in one. Because there's the 237mm one.
Oh, the 248.
And there's the
This is the 248 here. I mean, it's listed in both categories. So it's in reverse lights and it's in rear fog lights because it is both.
What is the difference between the 248 and the 237
11
other than 11mm and 24 quid?
All right, let's look. So we've got...
They're both E2 and F marked, presumably.
E9 and F1, yeah.
Oh, hang on. What's E9 versus... Because that might be... I bet one is trailer and one is car.
Maybe?
Nate, cut your mic for a few seconds. Back to this.
Yeah, cool. You talk.
You just project towards me while your mic is out for a minute.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, the lamp is E and F marked. Could it be the 237 isn't? No, it's also E and F marked.
But different numbers. And E11 is UK.
I don't understand. Why is everything so hard? Big government ruining my life.
E mark. Lights. Car lights. Okay. Rear lamps. 2 neon M positions. Certificates and homologations.
Homogenization.
It says homologations on this one.
We'll work on 10 to 30 volts. Oh, I like that. That's convenient.
These are products also appreciated all countries.
It's got to be an installation thing, like by the look of it, because they.
Okay, so the E mark is where it was made. So E20 is Poland. E9 is Spain, and E11 is United Kingdom. Fine. That should all work for a given value.
Does anyone in chat know what this means?
I think I found it. Okay, so the E mark is a circular frame with a part number. Which ECE regulations are related to vehicle lights? Light signalling. Previous ones are...
Gone to the wrong display.
Okay,
where did that go?
All...
It was on... Was it on... No, it wasn't on 2.
Approval certificate at
3? There we go.
4. Okay. This is...
I think it's just installation differences by the look of it. I wouldn't worry too much about the E and F marking, because I've never ever heard of anyone saying you need to make sure your headlight bulbs or whatever bulbs are like E and then a specific number.
Bulbs,
marked.
no.
It's always just E.
Lighting matters, unfortunately. And it is...
Well, I mean, I've never even seen it for like whole headlamp units and stuff. Because I've seen like people do projector conversions. It's always just make sure it's E marked. No one ever says, I'll make sure it's like E3 or whatever.
Okay, in which case, yeah, the E number is just the country of origin. So E20 is Poland, E7, E9 is Spain, E11 is UK, and then
E46 is Germany.
Yes. Let me just find the handbook.
I will say that the 237mm one seems nicer because it has like a silicon sealing gasket that sits around the back of it.
Okay.
Just to protect the thing. Mm-hmm. Apparently the shell of it is ever so slightly concave so that when you screw it in, it bends into place and fully seals itself all the way across.
Okay, weird.
Yeah.
Weird flex, but
yeah,
okay.
concave by a few millimeters, so that when you screw them in place, that it forces the seal all the way across. Because obviously, you can imagine if it was flat, it would bend and deform away a little bit. So it's basically putting the preload in that
sure. Okay.
But yeah, for the rest of it, it's yeah, it just seems to be. Oh no, well, this just has an integrated seal, so it's just it is itself. Honestly, I don't think it matters a lot.
I'm checking.
I'm pretty sure we could get either of them and no one would give a shit.
You waffle for a moment.
Okay.
I'll
be honest, waffling on demand is not a particularly strong skill of mine. I'm just trying to remember, like, how, because I know that there are tests around, like, the emission pattern. Or it's like when you've got, like, brake and fog lights especially, they have to be kind of focused rearward. But you can see optics in these. They're both, like, actually doing that. Oh, no. This is not me thinking that the panel's flat enough for that to matter. Although, actually, to be fair, this part of the car is, because this is a massive piece of box section.
It is a huge piece of 60mm by 30mm box section.
It's one of the few pieces of the car that...
It is almost... If we've bent it...
I don't know how, yeah.
We might have bent it, because I have hit it with a hammer a few times.
Well, I mean, we've cut the ends a bit and reshaped the ends, but that was like a deliberate thing that we had to go out of our way to...
Yeah, we did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Is sometimes surprising.
And you can actually get surrounds for them as well.
Oh yeah?
Well, that's nice. I mean, I don't particularly like the chrome ones in particular, but yeah, you can get like a cosmetic trim.
Sounds awfully paintable.
Yeah. I mean, what? Oh, that's to put two of them together. Why would you do that?
So because they do an indicator one.
Yes, because it's for the various other 237mm strips.
Yes.
Huh.
But there's a single one there.
Sorry, you're pointing at a place where my eyes aren't looking.
Yes.
Yeah, single surrounds. Yeah.
Yeah, black surround. Okay,
So this is selling the 237 to me.
Other than the fact that it's 40 quid and we want two of them. Yes, pretty much. What else have they got?
Dangerous question.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's always a dangerous question.
Oh, why did I mention this website? We have like fully rabbit holed ourselves here.
Increment that counter.
They're £23.
This isn't a tangent.
I feel like I don't think it's a tangent. This is car design. This is like actually relevant to our thing. Right. But no, they're £23 and we want two of them, not 40.
No, that's the 248 one. It's £24. The 237 RL406. That's just a fog.
Shut up. How did I end up here?
The fog and reverse is 48. And we kind of want two, which is really annoying. Because I don't want it to... I just don't... Oh, I like symmetry.
Yeah.
I like symmetry in my lights, damn it. And as much as I know it doesn't matter...
Oh, yeah, £48. Bloody hell.
Yeah, see?
Don't like that.
RL106, yeah?
Okay, so let's look at 248s again. Do they have any 248mm surrounds? I would have thought if they did, they'd be in the related products. And they're not, which seems a bit shit. So 248mm, shopping for parts with PedalBox today on the stream. And none of these are light surrounds.
Hooray.
None of them.
Not a single one.
Dude.
Oh.
Oh, it's because there were no results found. So it's just showing me anything.
Yeah.
I was wondering why these came up for a search for 248mm.
It's not wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, other than the fog and reverse lamp.
Oh, I do kind of want that, though.
Well,
We've already got one of these, actually, haven't we?
Have we? No.
Don't we?
Not that I'm aware of.
I bet some of the stuff that Maffey brought
in
round.
that massive box.
Yeah, I seem to remember having one of these somewhere.
Potentially.
Oh, there we go. There's our instrument cluster sorted. Sleek, elegant, minimalist.
I'll be honest, if we can rev to 14,000, that engine is going to explode into
Bits of it are going to the moon.
Parts.
Tell you what, that's nice, actually. It includes a schematic for the... for some of the key dimensions and stuff. I actually like that.
I sort of expect that from
for like the aftermarket-y sort of, especially 230 bloody quid.
Yes. Yes. For 230 quid, you can include a diagram.
Tell you what, The odometer does only go to 100,000 kilometers, though. Like, we're going to be putting miles on this thing. I'm not sure that's enough.
Just leave it idling.
Yeah.
At 14,000 RPM.
Whee! Yeah.
That's not going to end badly at all.
Chat's gone real quiet. Everyone's bored of watching us, like, shop for parts, I think. Understandably.
Yeah. I wonder...
a brake pipe straightener. That would have been useful, like, a year and a
have
half
one.
ago. Oh, have you got one?
It's terrible.
This one's like a proper, like, on four sides jobby. Look at this magnificent piece of work.
Oh yeah, that one's much better. That has wheels and
Yeah.
that one. I would bet good money that works.
Yeah.
Ours does not. Ours
No.
is garbage. See what I keep looking at.
Yeah.
Sorry, I suddenly got distracted by exactly what we want for 40 quid.
See, this is the rabbit hole I went down with the Rover. Was looking for like at these
something specific,
retrofittable aircon and heater units. These are a dangerous place to go because these are like fully integrated. I'm pretty sure I could actually squeeze one of these in under the dash somewhere. The downside is it doesn't have like the billion outlets that the SD1's heating system has. It's nowhere near as controllable. Like this is very definitely meant for like properly old cars that have crap heating systems, where like the sort of, you know, the bar is low.
Annoyingly, lots and lots of mini rear fog reverse lights are coming up, and not a lot else. There's lots of fog lights and reverse lights in like multi-part listing. And oh, okay, that's my bad.
Are you being dumb?
I typed dog instead of fog.
That'll do it. Yeah. The stream is not... No, we are definitely not sponsored by these guys. I would like to be.
Yeah, I'd love to be. Maybe they could send us a pair of, 48 quid
rear
lights.
tail lights, yeah.
If you're in the mood for shopping, why not check out Shop?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
If you would like to help us...
If you'd like to help us buy these overpriced... what was it? The 237mm ones, wasn't it, that were good? Yeah, if you'd like to help us buy these, shop.pedalbox.show. Buy our t-shirt and we'll buy lights.
Okay, right, it's not me. I typed fog.
Oh, and it auto-corrected.
And it was like showing results for dog reverse lights.
For God's sake. This is why you
Would
don't
you
use,
like to search instead for... Yes, I would like to search for exactly what I said.
I would like the computer to do what I fucking told it.
Yes.
Demonetized.
Please do what I asked, not making your own random guesses on what you think I might have tried to mean.
I'm
instead.
genuinely tempted to request a catalogue. That'll be lethal to sit with on the toilet.
Nope.
Just hear Vicks from out the door. They're like, sorry,
okay, so
what?
there is another option,
Yeah.
which is the Peugeot RCZ.
Weird coupe thing, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, no, that's an RXZ. That's not... It's
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, RCZ.
DuckDuckGo has my back. Yeah, it's this thing.
Okay, because that has exactly what we want in a light. Downside, there's only one of them that I found so far, and it's 75 quid.
Ooh.
There's an... Oh, no, I lied. There's another one. It's 95 quid. But it is janky enough because
Right.
all of the wires just explode out the back into a plug.
Okay.
So we can just cut the plug off and do whatever we
Oh,
want.
I like that. Oh, that's an interesting bonnet. I don't think I like that.
Yeah. Why does the wing open?
I don't know.
Is that... Oh my god, the bumper goes all the way back
Oh
to the
god, it
middle of
does.
the
Yeah,
arch.
that's all one piece.
Wow. Okay,
That's cursed.
it's neat because it gets rid of the
Can I-
requirement for a front wing.
Can
Apart
I-
from the fact that it still has a requirement for a front wing.
Can I also say,
panel.
I don't like that the headlight almost reaches the top of the wheel.
It's a long
Yeah.
light.
It definitely got carried away with the...
That's
I don't know what it's called when you do this with your eye makeup, but yeah, they got a bit carried away with that.
Yeah, that sweeps an awful long way back.
Goes too far. Don't like
I
it.
never even... Do you know, it's the sudden point where you realise I've never seen a bonnet open on one of those before.
No. Oh, obviously very well engineered.
Or they break down and the AA doesn't
Yeah.
even look at it and they just cart them away. Yeah, this is a terrible picture of the panel. Let me just put...
Oh, are you putting yourself... Oh god, that really is quite horrible.
Yeah. it's not.
Y'all got any more of them pixels?
It's not great. There we go.
Oh, that's better.
So yeah,
that looks pretty good.
It's horribly janky enough that the wires just erupt out the back.
Yeah.
And we can do whatever we want.
I'll be honest. I'm still not I'm not especially keen of like having to build a fascia around it, as with all of the OEM stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know, man. Right, hang on.
But yes, that's bearing in mind that's still 75 quid, and doesn't solve a problem at all. There we go. It doesn't solve the problem because it still leaves us having to figure out other things. The Car Builder Solutions one does work better. If we were going to spend near enough 80 quid, we might as well spend near enough 100 and get something that just screws on and works. I say just, using that.
Just is a magic word.
Using that cursed word again.
Right, hang on. Alternatively, right, frankly, if we're going down that,
because the other option is the BRZ. BRZ.
Have you ever seen Mr. Drewby's rear lights?
No.
Now, granted, he is in convict land in Australia where there are no laws. Actually, he might be in New Zealand, I can't remember. That's his tail light. It is just
cool.
a big PCB covered in high-power LEDs. Now, granted, like, he's written Arduino code and stuff to drive it and everything because he wants, like, this whole fade-in and all of this sort of very clever stuff, which I really, really do love. Like, this is fantastic. I do think it looks a bit naff on an NB MX-5, but it's very, very cool. And, like, it's not hard, because the nice thing is that LEDs, they are actually directional. The housings of these things they do focus back, which is the main requirement for taillights.
Yeah.
The other one is, frankly, there's so much bloody power in them by the time you've got 100 of the things that you don't actually need them to be focused. The only reason you normally need focusing is to make sure that you've got is a particular
people.
No, it's the opposite. It's to make sure that the power that you are spending is throwing enough light backwards. But with LEDs, you've got so much optical power that you don't really need to conserve it directionally like that.
So the problem with the BRZ and the GT86 is that the rear fog light and reversing light module, the cheapest I can find second-hand is 105 quid. At which point, we would just buy the two things from Car Builder and move on with our lives.
And then if you want, hang on, here's really, really fancy. Sorry, those are the front ones that I just showed you. That was the side lights and indicators.
Yeah.
This is his rear lights that he's built.
Okay, they're quite neat.
Very neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, again, a little bit extra for a second gen MX-5, but fantastically executed. Just absolutely amazing. And it's just a board with an Arduino and a whole ton of LEDs on it. And I think there's probably a shift multiplexer? Shift register, sorry, or something in there to get the amount of I/O up.
The problem is, the more and more I look at this, the more I'm just going, I just need to buy these two things because they work. The problem is they solve so many problems.
What's that? The 237mm? Yeah. Especially because they have fascias and stuff. Yeah. You can just screw them on and we're done.
I know this.
It is obviously the right way to. The amount of time I think we'll spend.
Yeah, if you'd like to help us buy.
Yes, donations are welcome. Patreon.com/PedalBox
If you'd like to help us buy a pair of rear lights for our fogs and reverse lamp problem, you can go to patreon.com/PedalBox show, and you can help us by sponsoring us from as little as $1 a month. However, that will take you
10 months at the £5 tier.
Oh, I was going at the $1 a month
tier.
Oh,
right, okay. It'll take a while.
Bearing in mind it's in dollars, it's probably going to be the better part of 5 years to buy us one.
In 1 year, you'll get us a round.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, no, this really does feel like strongly the right way to go.
I know. And I'm just looking at
the asymmetry though. Oh no, you're right. I do actually powerfully hate it.
For what? Yeah, we either need none or we need two.
Yeah.
And this is a significant problem. And the thing is, I'm now looking at going, we could recess it into our rear beams.
Don't do it, Aid. The whole point is it's meant to be easier. Don't go there.
I know. I mean, to be fair, that is something that we could do much, much later down the line because it's such a simple piece. We can remove it, we can adjust it, and we can just clag them on for the time being and make them work. And it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yeah. How...
The other option... No. No, actually, no, this ends up barely any better.
Right.
This really only ends up, like, marginally cheaper. I was going to say we could throw a pair of the little white one, or, well, whichever way round you want to go. We put a big fog or reverse in the middle, and then 2 little reverse or fogs, the other ones, at the sides. And then we maintain symmetry, and it's all easy, and it's way cheaper, except it isn't, because you're then buying 3 units at £23 a piece, and you're still £70.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're still
makes
£75 deep into a problem that... I don't want to say, God, I hate it, but what was... just scroll down a second, a second. What was... Oh, no, I was like, what's that one? 45 quid a pop, that's what that one is.
It's also 10 centimeters on a side. Like, that is a big slab of fog light.
Oh, no, sorry, I meant the one in the middle.
Oh, this one. Oh, right, okay.
Which is 8 inches, which is still massive.
Large.
If you just go up a bit to the top, because, yeah, the 260 by 1 line kind of works, but the slimline one with the 3 LEDs, again, same sort of problem. You end up buying
You need 3 of them, yeah.
Yeah. And if you only have one... Oh, no, if you have one fog light, it needs to be mounted central or on driver's side.
Yeah.
So we could still go central. Reversing light literally doesn't matter.
I mean, you could cheap out, right? You could do the clear fog light and put that on one side, and the reverse light, the matching reverse light, on the other side.
No, I hate that.
Yeah.
You
don't like one of each.
I vehemently hate that.
I feel like we're in one of those design choices that whatever the voiceover is, and it's just like, yes, love this, no. You don't have to give any reason. That's it. So design choices that I feel that make no sense, but I'm not giving any justification.
Right. I mean, that's probably where we're going to end up, is just like basically flipping a coin and not rationalizing the specific thing we do, because it'll just be, it'll be choosing like near enough at random from a handful of options we'll have narrowed it down to. I also...
How I feel about certain design choices with little to no explanation.
Why...
A TikTok trend.
Right. Why can't they just put multiple LEDs behind each? Why can't you just have both, or even like intersperse them or something? Although no, I suppose you probably want a clear separation so that you can tell it's 2 different lights. You probably don't want red and white mixed. So yeah, you'd have to have them... Oh, I hate all of this. Car design is hard. Why are we doing this? Can I just do a jigsaw or something? Or like build a Lego set?
Okay.
But like forever.
I have a... I have a solution.
Okay. Do you have a solution to us shedding viewers?
No.
Okay.
Other than you guys probably starting your sign-off soonish.
Okay,
Oh, we have been live for like 2 hours and a bit, yeah.
brake lights
Okay.
are meant to be 21 watt.
Equivalent if they were...
Yes, yeah,
Right, yeah, okay.
Fog lights are typically rated at 35 watts.
Oh, really?
Apparently so.
The bulbs I used to sell for fog lights were also 21 watts.
Run-of-the-mill bargain fog lights are typically rated at 35 watts.
Are you sure that's not for forward-facing fog lights?
Better, higher performance models can come with 100 watt output.
Yeah,
or
that's
the
going to be
equivalent
forward-facing.
LED.
Because 35 watts was for a long time the standard power number for a forward-facing lamp. Like your high beams, your dips, and your fogs would all have been 35 watts until we figured out, I think it was halogen bulbs, when we could go to 55. Or something roughly like that anyway. But like it's been 55 watts for a long time. But yeah, for rear-facing bulbs, it's 20.
It's 55 watts for fog lights, and there are rules on how many and where you can have them for road use. Okay, that's Colorado, but still largely be the same.
You think some of the common sensey stuff would be the same, yeah.
Bulbs are bulbs are bulbs to some degree. Okay. Because...
Is this the part where you pull up the bloody IVA regs in the middle of a stream?
I already have them open.
Okay. Imagine my surprise.
A, I already have them open. B, I already have a search box open for them. And yeah, you better believe I'm going to have a... oh, hang on. I just saw the page where that sits on. 20...
I don't know why you're telling me this. Because I don't have the IVA regs open.
Yeah. Okay, rear fogs.
While you do this, I'm going to play some Plate Up.
Have a look at...
Damn it.
Which is Plate Up? Is that like a...
That's Factorio plus Overcooked. Oh my god. That reaction is the correct reaction.
He does not eat another game.
Cut the fucking onions! Okay, have a look at what UNECE regulations are.
Oh god, really?
Yes.
Like which one?
38 or 148 or 48.03.
Oh my god, no, this is not... I'm not doing this. There's something about lithium-ion batteries in 38. Why do I care about this? Factorio and Overcooked.
If you haven't played Overcooked, it's just be prepared to shout at your friends.
Overcooked is terrible.
Overcooked actually isn't great.
Overcooked is amazing.
Right, okay. So it's a kitchen game, but it's co-op if you're playing it multiplayer, but you also do automation in it. You build a... This is a particularly goofy layout. I don't think I really like this one. I've never played that one, but let's go with maybe. So this is a kitchen that's just like mass-producing burgers, delivering them to tables across the bottom and blah, blah, blah. It's genuinely, it's a very clever game. I'm a big fan. Helped along by the fact that 3 of the people currently in this room play it, like, all the time.
It's what I'd be playing if I was at home.
Sorry?
It's what I'd be doing at home right now.
Yeah. I gotta be honest, I think if we were streaming right now, there's like a 3-way tie between what I'd be doing. Would I be doing some design work for the computer case, or would I be playing Plate Up, or would I be designing the airplane? It really could be any of the 3. But yeah, for what it's worth, Ronald, there's not, like, it's not a Factorio level of automation in Plate Up. It's a roguelike, so you're expected to die quite soon and lose all your stuff. It did need circuits. Oh god, no. No, if we put circuits in Plate Up, my autism will go into overdrive. I don't need that. But no, it's a proper fun little game. But it's oh god, it's so good at just devouring hours. It has that same sort of property that Factorio has. I'm just going to do like one more day, or like Civ, I think is roughly similar. I'm just going to do one more
turn.
day.
Just one more turn. It's just one more turn.
The catch is in Plate Up. One day is quite long. So you go, oh, it's only been 5 days, and then you realise like how much wall clock time has passed, and you look horrified because the sun's coming up.
Okay, Okay, so the required standards for a reared fog lamp. 1, they must be operational.
No shit.
2, the correct number must be fitted.
Okay, I don't know what the correct number is. I'm guessing it's 0 or 1 or 2.
No, because they must be fitted and operational, so it's not 0. Minimum of 1.
Oh no, because you do need a rear fog, don't you? Yeah. That's not an option. Front fogs.
A minimum of 1 and a maximum of 2.
Okay.
They must only emit a red light.
Okay. Are they accounting for like...
They must only...
Doppler here. Like, what if I'm driving away from the tester?
No, it wasn't as bad as that.
3/4 the speed of light.
It wasn't as bad as that. The rear fog...
Does it specify measured at rest?
The rear fog lamp must only illuminate when dip beam, main beam, or front fog lamps are lit, which our switch does that.
Yeah.
They must be positioned correctly to meet the positional requirements of Table 1, so that has numbers. They must be fitted with an operational telltale lamp visible from the... Yes,
oh, so that you can see it's on,
yes.
yeah. Actually, oh no, yeah, we'll have a lamp in the instrument cluster, won't we?
Yep,
yeah. Correct. Because we still have the factory instrument cluster.
Either the switch or telltale must clearly indicate that operation relates to rear, which it will do.
Can I make a public wager, by the way?
Sorry, 1 second.
I don't think our factory instrument cluster is going to work.
Must not be operated by a brake control is fine. Fitted so the reflector is facing squarely to the rear, it
Fine,
is.
yeah.
An operational rear fog lamp must form a matched pair with the obligatory lamp. Oh, an optional rear, sorry. So if you have one...
Right, okay.
Sorry, if you have two, they must
must
both
be mirrored
work together.
So they, yeah, okay. They must, yeah, okay.
An optional one must only operate with the obligatory one.
Right.
So they must be matched, as in symmetric.
That is definitely a way to phrase they must switch on and off with each other, but
Yes.
okay.
All rear fog lamps must display an E or be marked with a B or F, which they...
Okay, so I have a marker pen. We're
all
all
of
good.
the things do, which is fine.
Yeah.
Because on eBay, there is a 30
Oh, we're
LED...
getting your laptop back on.
Basically, this would require some degree of not so much charity from the inspectorate, but they are different sets of LEDs. So for the requirement...
Well, this seems no different to a single lamp unit that just has concentric LEDs or something, which loads do.
Correct. But it is only £9.
Oh no, sorry. When you said technically it's I'm like, that seems fine. But yeah, £9 is that's a nice. I like £9.
£9 is friendly, and does everything that we need it to do.
Yeah.
Is it the right amount of lumens or whatever?
Well, that's it. So it's 15 watts of LED for either one, so it doesn't matter what the
It's
reverse
a
is.
lot of lumens. If it's consuming 15 watts electrical, that will be shitting out photons like
Yes.
no light bulb you've ever seen.
Yes. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, that could solve a problem.
I think I like it.
Yeah. And it would mount centrally. Yeah. Like that. From a technical point of view, the LEDs are separate. At one point, I thought it was the same LEDs and they just went different colours, but that is two separate strips. You could feasibly put your fog lamp on and your reversing light.
Yeah.
And they would both operate at different times. So as a single unit...
Yeah.
You know, the argument is, well, what about this unit that clearly has multiple bulbs in that do the same thing?
Yeah.
But, yeah, like that is...
And Ronald, I don't want to build an instrument cluster, frankly.
No.
It's not a road I want to go down. What I would like to do is just get a flat piece of plate and just put some gauges in it. Just like standard aftermarket-y gauges. Or, if I can get my laptop, not quite, if I can get my computer screen back for a second, for 120 of our Great British pounds, I'm not saying it's pretty, but it is all of the indicators that we care about. There's a tack in there as well, across the top.
Except for fog light. It doesn't have indicators for when the fog lights are...
You're right.
Yep.
But it's fine, we can just put one LED in the dash. Nothing specifies that a Telltale has to look like a fog light icon.
You're not wrong.
So same with indicators and stuff. They only use arrows, like by convention. What happens when you reverse in fog? Don't.
Well, yeah, no.
But yeah, because they are separate sets.
Separate
like
sets of light, so it would functionally be okay.
Well, in the fog, it would all mix into pink.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't actually work very well.
There is one small problem with the Speedo. It does only go to 225 mile an hour.
Damn.
Which might not be enough for us. And the tack goes from 0 to 10, 0 to 12, or 0 to 15,000 RPM. Oh, mate.
What's that?
Ronald Reagan just deleted the project he's been working on for the past 2 hours.
Oh, my dude.
That's a pain I feel. Yeah.
We're missing a key job here. F's in chat.
I need the biggest F image I can find.
The biggest possible F.
Come on, internet, you can do it. Oh, it's loading from Flickr. No, it can't.
I need to find my F. Let's do this now.
Hey, there we go.
That is a sizable F.
That is a big F. Thank you, Bluebell33, for a large F.
You could stop doing that any time.
There's a fuel gauge in it as well. That's kind of neat. And a voltmeter. That's actually probably useful on a car whose wiring will be as janky as ours. Don't know where the voltmeter goes, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that?
I think I'm being told not so subtly by a tapping like this. We should probably wrap at some point. 2.5 hours into the stream.
Are we 2 now? Wow, it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 11.
I am. Wow.
I think our crew's about to go on strike.
I mean, sure. I might be.
No, we're not paying you overtime. Damn it.
That would imply pay in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair point.
I didn't think the stream black at all back there for a second.
Do the thing, damn it. I'm trying to buy that light.
You actually
Paper, yeah, I'm just like...
make it happen.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to do that after we've closed off the stream, maybe?
Let's not accidentally put card numbers online.
I'm trying.
Oh, you're very trying.
I'm trying to... I'm working on it. I'm trying not to use what I think is Yolanda's card to buy something.
On Adrian's behalf...
Which I might have done earlier this week, accidentally.
I'm going to thank you all for joining us.
I got 9 nectar points.
Congratulations.
Yeah, order's in. It'll be here in a couple of weeks.
Banging. All right, and on that bombshell...
we might have resolved a problem that didn't require us to buy a 40 quid part previously.
2 problems.
Well, I mean, that light solves a problem that we never had to buy a 40 quid part for that.
Yeah, good point.
that was just me not being inept and remembering that the correct part was needed to use.
A surround for that new £10 light.
0. I'm going to spend no time because we're just going to screw it directly into the back panel of the car and that'll be it.
Yeah, probably.
We should
Yeah.
to a sleeping kitty, 'cause
That said,
perfect.
it will mount nicely under the bar where the other one is, and it'll be a really simple surround to print for it because it's square. You see, with 2 very, very lazy things.
Okay.
It's fine. More stress CAD.
Yep, it's already stress CAD at this point. Not when it's this simple. We need to step it up a little.
Oh, damn it. We didn't even hit double digit on tangents. I mean...
Fail.
Were we even trying?
Lots of fail today.
Well, we've got 3 minutes to wrap this up before we hit 2.5 hours.
You mean before the production team goes on strike?
Yes.
And it's like, I don't know, burns the studio down or something.
I mean, really, in film, it's
you're
only,
not French, so
it's only after midnight that you have to pay the night rate working
Oh, are you about to pull a well, actually, on our volunteer workers?
Actually... It's only 20 quid on a 12-hour shift, though, so, you know, it's not going to pro-rata that hard. Although, camera overtime. Camera overtime is expensive. That's a heavy penalty rate.
No, this is the same tangent. You just, like, never got back from it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The problem
for 10
is,
in the last
the
few
stupid
seconds
thing is,
there.
I keep looking to see it. It's not on that screen. We could actually put... I have got a small, like... little 10-inch TFT that we could have one down here. We could have a live tangent counter right there. I keep thinking
more
of
tech for
something
next
we could
time.
use it for, but...
Anyway, I said goodbye to the chat like 10 minutes ago.
Nah, it wasn't 10 minutes ago.
It feels like it.
Right.
Good impression of what we should be doing right now.
Should we be...
Love cam.
Yeah, it's not even loaf cam. That is full-on nap cam.
Croissant.
He's not quite shrimping, though. He doesn't
No.
have the long stick-out legs that Binks occasionally does.
Love him. Can we wrap before 11:15?
11:15 easily.
I would say that.
22:59.
I was. I mean, it says we started streaming 92 minutes ago. That's somehow patently wrong.
Yeah.
Did we lose half an hour? No. Did we lose an
No.
hour?
Our clocks went forward. Or back, or something.
What, at 11 at night?
Yes.
Ah, well done,
Obviously
Ronald.
what happened.
His editor saved the project.
Lucky.
So yeah,
Right.
GG, WP. We will leave you to go and thank your editor somewhat. Yeah, we will catch you in the next stream at some point at some time in the future, which we don't really know when it's going to be.
It'll be approximately the back third of next month.
Yes, with the two of us in, it will be after the 24th of May. So it'll probably be the weekend after the 24th of May, to be honest.
There's already a whole lot of other options, are there?
No, precisely. So that will basically be it. That will be when it's most likely to be, which is 5 weeks. Wow, 5 weeks from now. That's problematic. We haven't got enough episodes to cover all of those gaps. Ruh-roh!
That's right. I'm sure you can figure out something on the TV. Just nip out and...
Yeah. So the other option, we also have quite a lot of Lego sets to build, which we might end up drafting in one of our crew to help build stuff, because we've got a Mini and an F40 and a couple of other bits to do. But if you'd like to support us, as I am being prompted, you can go to shop.pedalbox.show, where you can buy merch like the stuff I'm not wearing. You can also buy one of John's t-shirts as well at Mad Scientist Garage, which I would fully recommend.
After you've bought our t-shirts, obviously.
Absolutely.
No offence, John, but...
Yeah, but definitely buy ours first. And if you'd like to support us in buying our very expensive lights, or just looking after Loki here, you can go to patreon.com/pedalboxshow, where you can support us from as little as $1 a month. But it'd be nice if it was a little bit more.
Every dollar counts, but more dollars count more.
And if you haven't already, when I find it, you should subscribe just down there where that little arrow is pointing. And you should check us out on all of our usual social stuff, because you can find us on Instagram, where we post occasional things when I remember.
Twitter, where we post never.
Never, yes. And Facebook as well, where we mostly just promote the fact that we've got an episode or a live stream going, so you can definitely use that to your advantage to find out when we're going live. And we will see you another time. Thanks very much for joining us. Thank you to our wonderful crew and fetchers of things that I have left outside of the studio and need. Yes, sponsors for our social Meowdio managers, payment in treats. But he is doing sterling work, napping. Oh, now, you see, now the bucket is interesting. Oh, he wants the bucket. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he wants the bucket.
Now he's seen himself.
Yeah, I don't know why you're handing me an empty bucket, though. That's...
So you can put things in the bucket.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Rust in the bucket.
Yeah, I mean,
another time.
You could.
No, it doesn't.
I think you should try and put.
But does it count as a tangent? Might count as a tangent.
Oh yeah, no, counting the tangents is definitely a tangent.
Right.
Right. We will see you another time. Thank you very much. And next time we might even have some outro music, because I forgot to get that ready this time. Go me.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. That will have to do. Thanks.